Let's break it down. The broken baker's coming to town. From Denmark with love, watching courts go wild. American drama got me hooked like a child. Twists in the courtroom, objections all day. Live on the screen, come and join the fray. Step one, grab your coffee, settle in tight. Step two, laugh at the chaos left and right. Step three, Danish take on the law so crazy. Step four, hit subscribe, don't be lazy. Oh yeah! He's the broken baker, breaking down cases, real truth shaker. Witty and fun from across the sea. The broken baker set my free. Hey, hey, broken baker, Danish style so smooth. Legal madness in the groove. Yeah, join the live today. The broken baker's here to slay. High profile trials, witnesses spin. Alibis cracking, let the fun begin. Outside of you with a humorous twist. True crime fans, you don't wanna miss. Even when it's broken, we find the fun. Danish baker baking truth for everyone. The broken baker, yeah. Hit that bell, let's go
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whoever you are, what, if any, you might be. And welcome to day 6 in the Brendan Banfield trial, where hopefully today we will figure out what. Because yesterday, what? No one really knew what happened yesterday, I think. Hey, true crime fan. Welcome to Alive. Good morning, Karen McCord out of California. And no, yesterday we had 4 witnesses, 5 witnesses, and all of it ended in, as we say in Denmark, hat and glasses, because the defense attorney can't ask a question. Oh,
All right, are we ready for the jury, or do we have any preliminary
Judge,
matters?
I have a matter that I
Yes.
wanted to take up relating to some of the evidentiary stuff we did yesterday. May we approach?
Okay, sure.
but yesterday he wanted to put in a video showing that they did something to him while he was being transported in an ambulance. Then he wanted to put in that a digital forensic detective got removed from his position and moved to another department because he disagreed. But he said, well, yeah, I'm not sure I would make the determinations that the other people had, but I don't know who did it. I don't know who did what. And Karen McCord is from Canada and not California. It's kind of the same. It's cold. They are great at ice hockey, and they have caribous. That's all I know about California and Canada. What? But no, he wanted to have an expert who was a police expert that didn't agree with the other people, say, well, it couldn't have been either of these two, or it couldn't have been the defendant who made the post. And he said, I can't do that. So, yeah. Sandy B, it's bad luck to wish anyone a happy birthday when it's not their birthday. Hey, Sue Rio. welcome to the channel, Sue. And don't be disparaged when I say something bad about another Sue, but that's because that Sue is a publicly appointed nuisance to my channel. She is only here to harass me every day, every single day. But you can be the good Sue, and she can be Sue. It's a balmy -2 in Toronto this morning. We have 31 Fahrenheit, which is around 0, I think. Yeah, that's because you're always harassing me. Isn't Canada a more temperate area compared to California? I'm not sure. It's somewhere over there. And I just filled out my ESTA, and I hope it comes through this time, because I had to use an app this time. It's kind of weird. And then I found out that my credit card expires this year, so I hope I get a new one soon. John Gary, not a great start to the day. Hey, Kathleen Dilly. Go Buckeyes. Luckily for you, Jamie hasn't joined, because saying OH is fighting words for Jamie. She is a proud Wisconsinite and a Cornhusker. You better have done it, because they're going to tell us the date of the relapse tour soon. J7, I have heard that announcement since November last year. And it's probably going to be, it's in 2 weeks. Yeah, fuck no, I'm going to buy tickets, because they'll be like $1,000 more than they would have been if they got it announced in a decent time. But I hope I can still make it. -1 on the beautiful Cape Breton Island today with big snowflakes. We had a little bit of snow when I was at the store earlier today. Didn't stay. But it's really happening this time. Yeah, it's you were saying to me the same like every other girl had said to me. It's very wet here, but it's not freezing today, which is good. Oh my. Oh my, Rianne. Oh my. What was the convicted murderer's last request before he got the electric chair? Hold my hand. Hey, Laurie Phillips. Good old Pernilla G. Tack så mycket for yesterday. I hear that from Texas and all the way up to the Canadian border in like a easterly direction, you should get a ton of snow today or tomorrow. So please all remember, stay safe, stock up on all your groceries, because DoorDash won't come if there is 5 foot of snow. And don't light any fires inside of your house unless you have a apparatus where you can get the smoke out, because we always hear about that when it gets really cold. Someone was like, oh, I'm just going to light a little fire in my living room, and then they pass away from smoke inhalation. How was your day with your family? I'm having my day with my family this Sunday. Well, baby Baker is coming down Saturday. Yeah, he's bringing his mom, but he's the most important part. And then hopefully some other people will join us on Sunday. I haven't really, I have my brother and my nephews and his wife, I think, are coming, not my niece. And my other brother, I don't know. So we'll figure it out. Well, you also have drop iguanas, alligators, pythons, 40,000 different kinds of poisonous snakes. Why would anyone go to Florida? Lady Di. Not that one. The other one. Weather guesses thinks it's going to miss us. Well, anyway, make sure you have enough water, you have enough whatever you need. Hey, Rhonda. Nope, I'm not going to sing Rhonda. In Canada, we have storm chips, potato chips. It's a big thing here to have your storm chips. Yeah, you need something to kind of get over it. I think it's going to be down to around 20 Fahrenheit this weekend here. I think we're going to have really cold weather as well. What does it say? No, it's not going to be that bad. Minus 28 Fahrenheit is the lowest that we are set to have. Pernilla, you like snakes, you like sharks, you like everything crazy, so of course you like to go to Florida. You were named after her. Oh, how that's a cool one. I remember the day she passed away because I was going to Aarhus to play music, and I had some R&R from the military. We could go home that night, and then we should just meet up that day. And I remember waking up, and they talked about that that morning. And then when I arrived up there, my sergeant screamed at me because he claimed I had gotten the when you were the first 2 months before you got baptized into the military band I was in, you were just called New Man. So he claimed that I'd been out drinking all night with New Man. He picked me up at the train where I just walked out of the train. He still claimed me. So that's how I remember it. Hey, Katie D.
Thank you. All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's my understanding from Deputy Johnson that all of you are available for tomorrow. Is that correct for testimony? All right, perfect. All right, your next witness,
Officer Casanova?
Officer Casanova.
Oh, Casanova. Turn off
Your
the
Honor,
mic.
can
We
the
can hear
main
you.
screen be released if it isn't already?
It
Turn
is,
off the
there's
mic. We
nobody
can hear
there.
you.
Thank you.
It's fine.
We can hear you, Mike. Turn off your mic.
Do you swear or affirm to testify truthfully in this case under penalty of law? Thank you.
Then we got the worst song ever written by Elton John. Can you feel the
Morning,
love?
Officer Casanova.
Morning.
I'm just going to ask you a few questions, but the first question is I wanted you to identify the picture that's in front of you. Do you see a picture?
I have a blank screen.
Okay.
Now I have a picture.
Okay. Is there any way, based upon just that snapshot of your body cam video, as to whether this is your video?
I can't say for certain.
Okay, let me move forward. And just stop me if you see anything that makes it clear it's you.
This does appear to be my video. I recognize my watch.
Okay. Sir, I'm going to go ahead and play this video.
We have to identify it.
Oh, sorry, Your Honor, that would be identified as Defense Exhibit 86, I believe.
I have an 86.
87.
87. Do you wish to have it in evidence?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objection?
Yes, Your Honor, which approach?
Okay.
Approach. Candle in the Wind. I loved his version for Lady Di. Like a candle in the wind. Yeah, he's sniffing again today. Do they not need to keep notes on what number they are on for this evidence? They do, but this guy has never remembered his evidence number. What did I get for my birthday? I will be, because today from Dodo and I told her to remind me because I know I was gonna forget it. From Dodo and now I have to find the email because I already Danny T and Horrible Sue, Not Good Sue, and Dodo has also sent me a care package. So I will do a box opening stream when this horrible trial is over. Just imagine if he didn't. Yeah, well, could he do some more so he could speed up? Hey, almost cooked. The poor judge is having to count basic numbers like she's a kindergarten teacher. I'd be losing my mind if I were her. And we know she has a very low tolerance bar. Yesterday, when she was just, you should take it up. Pick it up. Dodo did all the work. Yeah, wasn't supposed to. Of course you do. Kevkar. How long ago? This is day 6. It's the second day that the defense is going on. Yesterday, we didn't really get anything out of 6 hours of streaming. What the hell is her outfit again today?
So 87 will be introduced into evidence without audio. Does this need,
And sir, can you,
I'm sorry, does this need to be under seal? I don't know what it has on it.
I don't believe it does, Judge.
He does not.
So now we're going to watch a body cam video
Judge,
that we are not going to see,
I
and that's
hate
not
taking
gonna
the
be-
risk, but I do not believe that Officer Casanova goes upstairs in the house. I believe that he remains on the first level.
Is that
Yeah.
correct, Officer Casanova?
I never entered the house.
Never entered the house.
Perfect.
Okay, so.
Judge, maybe
so-
we just approach about one other thing that I might see on there.
Oh my jeepers. The prosecutor found her old Charlotte Rossi storage unit. Maybe she what
We're going to enter it without audio, and we're going to make it under seal for the moment. Okay, thank you.
Sir, can you please state your name and spell your name for the court reporter?
Sure, I'm Robert Casanova, Casanova.
And you've indicated that this is your video based on your watch.
Yes,
Okay, and we're going to watch this without sound,
okay.
okay? And from time to time, I might stop it and ask you a question. Okay,
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
so now we're not watching a video and we're not listening to the video. Oh, going to the courthouse. He said that he might need it until next week, but what the hell? There's nothing at all. And especially this guy wasn't in the house, so he's just standing outside to see what? That he came out with blood upon him? Boom. Bad hair club day. I'm running a brush through it. What was the reason for no audio? I missed that part. They didn't state the reason because it was at a sidebar, so it was a private discussion that the jury isn't supposed to be part of. But most likely, there's something in there that might be, yeah, it that has no bearing on the trial. Hey, money. Nothing. No, I got my haircut on the 15th, 2 days early. This is when they... Could we just play a little video or something? Have everyone stand up and dance? Do something? KDD is nice. She's not sucking up to me. She's being nice to me. There's a big difference. It's almost like with the evil Sue. Hey, Cookie. Welcome back to the madness. Now we're seeing a video we're not seeing, and there's no audio with it. And hey, Annie over on the Rumple side. To see Florida man in their natural habitat. Oh, that's why you go to Florida. Yeah, but I was just afraid that I might end up being a little unalived by a Florida man. Because they are watching a body cam video, they weren't allowed to put the audio on. So, yeah. I don't think so. Caitlin, it was my 27th birthday. Dum, 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 dum. Shut up. Why are you so mean to me? Mm-hmm. 27, Jemima. Just because you are hitting your 49th birthday on the 24th, don't sit here and cast that evil juju on the rest of us. I'm 27. Hey, Sean Bird. How is everything hanging? Hey, CG girl, 5150. I hope you're not a 5150. 57 is a great age. Well, I won't know till 30 years down the road. Panella, don't lie to people. You told us your real age the other day. I don't know that if you realize that. Janelle, I think I've said this multiple times. Kids, stay off the druggos. I know that Jemima is sitting there saying, hey, shouldn't we all try mescaline and ayahuasca? And then we all have this massive psychosis where we make up that Baker said something. It's not true. Not true at all. Yeah, I was like, you don't normally have that account name, but I thought, well, maybe YouTube effed up again. I loved all of the new haters were more like 57. If he's 27, what disorder does he have? Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 ba-dum, dum. Yeah, then keep that away from here because there's weirdos around. Soup, soup, soup. That's if anyone spoke Spanish. Oh. So 37 years old. Well, that's a good age for a woman's. Looking better. Who's on the stand? Officer Casanova, who doesn't look like a Casanova. And we're watching a body cam video where they're not allowed to show it to the public and they're not allowed to have audio on. So right now I am just sitting here and thinking, should I do hand puppets? Should I try? I don't know. And we don't know how long it's going. Why didn't we start 2 hours later again today? Yes, Katie is a teacher in Korea. So she
Sir,
has
we
a
pause for a
teacher.
second there. Is that you arriving at the house
Oh, he
Yes,
hasn't
sir.
been to the house before now.
at 8:56?
If I can ask the court to clarify for the record, counsel referenced 8:56. That would be the marker on the video, not the time of day.
Right.
You didn't
Time of
miss
day actually says
anything.
8:14 in the
It
time.
was 8:56. I was showing the marker on the video, Judge.
Just the marker.
Reference for the officer.
Right, and the time on the video of the actual time would be 8:14. Okay.
Thank you.
So just get more suasion. Well, Plussy, you don't look at day over 30. Yeah, there's always joys to be had in this case.
Officer, at this point, as you're walking toward the house, were you given any direction as to what your duties were going to be at the scene?
Not at this point. I just asked Officer Batani, sitting on the sidewalk there, if he needed any help. And then I think that's Officer Hernandez, I asked him if he had crime scene tape, and he advised he was going to get it.
Okay.
I should have uploaded my videos from yesterday so I could have showed you Odense. So, what's everyone's plans for the weekend? Anyone has something interesting they want to share with class? Because this isn't interesting. Well, you can never have too much Baker. Snowstorm coming. Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. I just told everyone to.
At this point, had you been given any instruction as to what you should do?
Yes, my supervisor had asked me to take over from, at the time, Sergeant in Training Bell.
Okay.
Ultrasound. Going to hang out with friends tomorrow night, then birthday dinner Saturday night with my family. Yeah, your 49th birthday. Shoveling snow. My husband, I'll be home. Oh my. So that's what you're doing in the weekend. Bow chicka bronco. Experts took some pictures from Walmart yesterday in Tennessee, and everything was just empty shelves. Just praying we don't lose power due to possible ice. A client asked you for a date tomorrow. Well, go out there and then you can raise his price a little bit. Clean my house, FaceTime my grandchildren in California, stay in the house so I don't have to shovel. That sounds like a plan as well. Buying all the bread and milk in the store. There was nothing at all. It was, the first hour was us doing the same as we're doing now. We just heard the video from the body cam. Heard the audio, not the video. And then he had some people on to talk about nothing, and then he had a person on who had done a digital report, and he didn't ask him any questions, took him off. Then he put an expert up there to testify about his digital report, and that was denied because that would be hearsay. And then he put the police officer who did the digital report again up there to try and imply that he had lost his job because he didn't want to corroborate the theory behind the case. And he was like, well, I don't know, I wasn't part of it, and I can't tell you who used the different devices. So yeah. Staying home to stay warm. Saturday is going to be only 9 Fahrenheit and Wilton 15. Stay inside, yeah. Anxiety medication before I go grocery shopping. Oh, that sounds horrible. Did anyone see the exploding trees? Haven't seen that. And Emswire is whinging about the heat. Well, it's somewhere where you are. We're supposed to get a crazy cold snap. Minus 25 Fahrenheit. Ooh. Ooh. Beach Girl, this is what we have been looking at. A video we're not allowed to see, and an audio that's not allowed to be played. Kids are so nice. Oh yeah, if they snap freeze, yeah, because that'll expand the water. I can see you. So it's working. You must have been botted at some point. maybe you were in another chat yesterday. YouTube has this thing where it'll all of a sudden it'll just determine you're a bot. If you comment a little too frequently or whatever, YouTube just says, "Well, you're a bot," and then you're blocked for a couple of hours a day. It happened to Soup. It was one of the best days. She had been over playing Words on Screen. YouTube wants you to participate as much. I actually have a counter in my studio that says how my chat activity is going, and they like a high chat activity, but they will then punish creators who chat a lot, or not creators, audience members who chat a lot, because it makes sense. YouTube is a little. Ugh. Did I have a nice birthday? Well, I had to sit here and watch this for 6 hours yesterday, but I got to hang out with Dave and Mass and Pernilla and Dave's wonderful wife and his mother-in-law. So that was nice. Yeah, and you're not normally super active, so yeah. Well, you know. Hey, Celestial. Always damned if you do, damned if you don't. Exactly. And YouTube is just acting up. Yesterday, I couldn't upload on Twitter for 2 hours or something like that. So, you don't say so, Money. You don't say so. Well, it depends on how many people are here. I'll try and have, but if I'm branding or something, I don't see chat. When it's going like this, yeah, I see all chats. No, Gina, we don't see you. I did pull it up before. No, I just read the one with the note in the kitchen. Yeah. Hey, Norther Boston. Isn't it just amazeballs how it's going? Hey, Dory, how are you doing over on the Rumble sites? This is the worst ever. Like ever, forever, and ever. Hey, Alfie. Good morning. You didn't miss anything by being late. Thank you, Cindy Lou Boo Hoot, for 27 months. Hey, looky here, #1 muffin top. Thank you, Cindy Lou Boo Hoot, for 27 months. That's a long time. Imagine I've had my channel for that long. That's No, Sue, it doesn't mean that I should have been better at what I'm doing just because I've been doing it for this long. Hallo Schöner, wie geht's dir heute? La da 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 da. Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, ba. Just notarized something for a guy who donated his brain to science, so there's that. Well, at least you had an exciting morning. We are organizing a kayak metal detecting trip to Rapana. Well, have a nice trip. Well, that sounds cool. We could have been opening gifts and celebrating me. We should. More people should celebrate me. We could just have taken the day off yesterday and then probably the day off today as well. Well, Zach fishes, but he's not magnetic. Because they're not allowed to play the audio, and we're not allowed to see the video. It's body cam video from an officer who didn't enter the scene. Congratulations to Mama Malin. Are you gonna hang out with her and say giggity, giggity, giggity all the time? And when she says why, 69. Giggity, giggity, giggity. La da da dee da 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 la da 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 hey. Yeah, so we are not just thinking, is this not working? Well, he didn't went into the scene, so I don't know how much. Oh, hey, Walker in Georgia, how are you doing in the fine state of Georgia? Known for the Bulldogs. Yeah, Georgia Bulldogs. I think it's the Georgia Bulldogs. Am I right about that? I think I am. Yeah, they are not allowed to play the sound, and the video is kept from being shown as well. So this has been a riveting half hour so far. I talked to someone about this case, and we agreed that the biggest disappointment is we are not getting to how the hell did they get this guy to do it? Because like I was talking about what could have been really nice to find out is how do you escalate from the normal weird kink stuff? You're one of those weirdos who likes to have your feet sucked, or maybe you like a little probing pinky finger, or maybe you like a little light bondage. Hey, can you bring over the fluffy handcuffs? All of that.
Sir, is this the end of your contact with Juliana Peres Magalhães?
I believe I check on her a couple times, but for the most part, yes.
Oh, he's
Okay.
the guy who
In
was
the
talking
car?
to her outside.
Yes.
But how do you go from that and then you escalate? Because I could kind of see, okay, if you like to be handcuffed, you might go into a little more restrictive play. But going from that until I'm going to come over, I'm going to attack you, I'm going to grape you, I'm going to tie you up, and we're going to use a knife. That's what I had hoped that we were kind of figuring out.
Sir, ultimately, when she left the scene, was it in your cruiser or in the cruiser that she's sitting in right now?
I'm not sure which cruiser she was in, but it was not mine.
Okay, you know that it wasn't you.
Yes.
What, other than checking on her, were you given any other duties while there?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Other than checking on her, which you've testified to, were there any other duties that you began after she was in the car?
Yes, after a short while, I took over traffic control duties, restricting vehicle access to the roadway.
Your Honor, this is 2545. And that's, those are all my
I know
questions for
that
this officer.
the grape
Just to be
fantasy
clear,
is
then
the
you just
most
want 87 in evidence up to 2545, correct?
is the most
All right,
sought
and
after
that'll stay
kink
under seal
in
then, okay.
most women.
All right, thank you. Cross-examination?
But it's just
All right.
No
Is this
questions.
Is this witness subject to recall?
No, Your Honor.
All right, you're free to go, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
so we
Next
just
witness?
saw her. We've seen this video. I played this video. They just fooled around outside and said blah 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 blah.
Your Honor,
Nothing.
may I just check with Detective
Sure.
Byerson?
Nope.
There's Sergeant Brian Ames.
Sergeant Ames?
Well, money, it's not the grape fantasy. It's more losing control and letting someone else have control. That's more what's in that. But we're talking about like a PG grape, like, oh, I'm gonna fling you on the bed and hold you down, and then I'm gonna show you who's the boss. Oh, do you like it? Do you like it when Baker holds your arms? Do you want me to bite your neck a little bit? That's the type of grape that we're talking about. We're not talking about, hey, I'm gonna sneak into your house, I'm gonna pull a pillowcase over your head, and then I'm gonna abduct you in a windowless van. We're not talking about that type of grape. It's more loss of control. That is, if you go by the what do you call it? Well, when they look into this kink fantasy, it's more that it's not something like I'm gonna throw you off a cliff and stuff like that. It's just a little loose of control.
Do you swear or affirm to testify?
No, it's a
truthfully in this case
fantasy.
Under penalty of law.
It's a fantasy. Do I believe the au pair was credible? She lied enough for the state. No one knows what the apricot was for. That's what I wanted to know as well.
Morning, Sergeant Ames.
Good morning, sir.
And are you a sergeant?
I am.
Okay. Where are you currently, what's your current station?
I'm in the IAB, sir.
Okay.
Internal Affairs Bureau.
And during the period of time, February 24th, 2023, through the end of 2024, where were you assigned?
I was assigned to DFS in November 2024 to February 2025. Before that, I was a street supervisor.
Okay. Sir, I'm going to have you take a look at some exhibits. Your Honor, I'm going to use the
Okay.
overhead if I can.
It's fine, we'll switch over to that.
She downplayed her.
Hit the button on the top.
Downplayed her own part in it, clearly, but they always do that. No, it makes him a pimp.
Sir, can you see that
street
document?
supervisor.
I can, sir.
Let me just straighten it out. Are you familiar with that document?
Sure, yes, sir.
Okay. I'm specifically looking at, and I'll just put my pen in there, at this particular area. Is that something that you authored?
I did, sir.
And so the sign out is Ames. That's you?
That is me.
And this is your title here.
Yes, sir.
Now, what is it that you're doing here with regard to this communication?
Your Honor, I'm going to object to the witness reading from the item. It hasn't been identified or offered in evidence.
I don't think the question was to read it.
No, it was not to
Okay,
read it.
all right, I'll overrule the objection at this point.
What were you doing? This appears to be an email thread. What were you doing?
Looking at the email, it looks like I received something from Lieutenant Joshua, and I was sending it out amongst the people who work for me. It looks like I CC'd my captain.
Judge, I
and
am going to object. He's reading from the letter. If his recollection of this email is such that he can testify to its contents, then certainly.
So it'd be a foundation objection.
Yes,
Sustain that objection.
And sir, this is an email that you authored and you sent on to your colleagues, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Your Honor, I'd move this in as a Commonwealth's Exhibit number 88.
Any objection to that?
No.
Okay, 88 in evidence, and we can
Now, I would
publish
just
it
like
to the
to
jury.
ask you another question. The people that you were saying you were writing to were people that were
Oh, she'll be
within
running to,
your section, is that correct?
To President.
It looks like I CC'd my commanders and 2 of the detectives that work for me.
Okay, and the 2 detectives are both named Brendan Miller?
Yes, sir.
And is one of those detectives the digital forensics analyst for this case?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and he's obviously in your section. And is this officer in your chain of command?
No, sir.
Okay, what?
Your Honor, counsel's making reference, he said this officer, I'm not sure who he's speaking
If you
about.
could, just
I
for the
was just
records.
pointing, yes. I won't point, sir. David Giacchio, it says Lieutenant David Giacchio.
He was not in my division.
Okay, and yet he's
His name is
communicating
Eames.
you regarding, what is it
Or
he's
Ailes.
communicating about?
And hey, Ketchup, man.
An executive summary?
Okay, is that Brendan Miller's executive summary? Do you recall?
I don't recall, but looking at this, I would have to say.
Judge, I'm going to object to any further answer. He does not recall.
No, overruled. You can finish answering, that's fine.
You can finish answering, you were saying, but looking at this.
It appears to be an executive summary.
Okay, now, was there a particular executive summary that Brendan Miller completed that was at issue while you were there in cybersecurity?
There was no executive summary issued while I was there. I was only there for 4 months, sir.
Okay. Was there, were you aware of any disputes with the executive summary, either within your division or another division?
I know that executive summaries are written on every case.
How about this case? How much contact did you have with this case during your time there?
With this case,
Yeah.
not very much contact at all, sir.
Okay, and so what we're seeing is this extent of your contact?
Pretty much, sir.
Okay. Sir, I'm going to take 87 off, and I'm going to have you look at,
Judge, I believe that was 88.
Anime, yeah, I said the same thing about the
Is
4
that
weeks.
correct? He referenced 87.
Oh,
I believe.
sorry.
That was
Did I
88.
say-
You just did 88, yes.
okay, then that was 88 that I took off.
Right.
I'm going to identify,
Dory, no one knows why he's here. He doesn't know anything, but that's all the witnesses he's called so far.
what will be marked as Defense Exhibit 89. Can you see that email?
I can.
Okay, and is that appear to be an email that you forwarded on?
It is.
Actually, you know what, I'll just let you tell me what it is.
It looks like Lieutenant Joshua forwarded a proffer to me,
Okay,
and then I forwarded on to my detectives and CC'd my supervisors.
okay, and you said a proffer, or are there 2 proffers there?
I don't know. Normally, the system works where you get 2 different angles. I can't recall
Okay,
if that's 1 or 2.
so you never examined those proffers?
No, I'm sure I clicked on them before a meeting, but I don't recall if it's 2 separate parts or if it's just two
7
angles.
women and 9
Okay,
men.
and where you sign off as Ames, that's you, correct?
Yes, sir.
And Sergeant Brian Ames, all of the things relating to that were correct as of the time of this writing on
Yes, sir.
November 8th, 2024?
Yes, sir.
And you're CCing, I assume, superiors?
Chain of command, yes,
Chain
sir.
of command, okay. And Brendan Miller and Brendan Miller are the two people that this is directed to.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, they're in your chain of command. Would that be an order that you're providing them? Here, I move this in as Commonwealth's Exhibit 89,
Any objection?
No.
All right, 89 evidence?
if we can have that published.
I mean, yes, I guess since I'm their supervisor, if I send them that, I guess it could be perceived as a command, but that's not really the way it works. It's their detectives looking at a case.
Okay, so let me ask you a question about that. By saying their detectives looking at a case, you're saying you leave the detectives alone to do their thing?
I'm saying that I had 4 months there. I wasn't really caught up to speed on digital forensics. That's not my specialty. Like, I haven't been trained in that.
Okay, so you're a supervisor for the people that are trained and as
I am.
experts? Okay. And
Oh,
as a sergeant, in your chain of command, are you being ordered to do something by the lieutenant from homicide?
I think I'm being asked to look at this, like this is the way information sharing would happen, is we're not homicide detectives over in that squad. We're kind of,
hey, Mike.
we're a support unit over there, so that's how the information would come in.
Okay. So if I understand you correctly, criminal investigations, cyber and forensics bureau is a support bureau for homicide?
Well, specifically to digital forensics is a support bureau for all the other bureaus when they have digital evidence.
Okay. And is it common for the lieutenants from other bureaus to communicate with you in this way, to have your detectives do things?
No, there's a lot of back and forth. Like I kind of, when I was in that position, I kind of field the calls, send stuff up the chain of command, figure out what the detectives think are best for the case, stuff like that.
Okay, so you're going up the chain of command. Is it something related to the communications that you're receiving, or is that something that you would do with every communication?
Since I was a newer sergeant at the time, it was my understanding the expectation out of my command was to link them into pretty much everything that I was
The
doing.
misnomer just had
Okay, in the form of, in the immediate moment you received an email?
the chat.
If I was doing ESRs, like they got them, if we had a case that was unusual, or if we had anything, like I said, I was a newer sergeant. It was my understanding, the expectation on me was to forward stuff up my chain of command. That is correct.
Okay, so this is commonplace, what these emails show?
I would say at that point, when I was in DFS, with me being newer, I looped them in on a lot of stuff.
Okay, thank you. Your Honor, I've moved 89.
89 is in evidence.
Okay. Sir, I'm going to have you look at what will be marked as Defense Exhibit 90. Do you recognize that?
Today, Junior.
I know you send a million emails
Yeah,
a day,
I
but
send
do
an
you
awful-
recognize this
I-
particular one?
Yes, this is my email, sir.
Okay, and this, and I'm pointing with my pen, appears to be you, that's the way you would sign off?
Yes,
And this would be all of the information that's accurate as to where you were working at the time?
yes, sir.
And what about this up here? What was that? Do you have any idea?
I don't know without seeing it. I mean, based on the context here, it looks like it's a timeline
Okay.
from Lieutenant Joshua
Okay.
related to the proffer.
Do you know, and let me just call your attention to, and this is 89, correct?
That's 90.
90. Your Honor, I moved this in as Exhibit 90.
Any objection?
No, ma'am.
90 in evidence and published?
Sir, I'm going to put 89 there next to it.
Okay, not published? 89 is in. Oh, he's been 89, okay.
I didn't ask you about, with regard to 89. Do you know what that is?
I mean, given the context of this, it appears that it's a timeline related to this case.
Okay. And I'm going to have you look back at 88.
Back in anger, stay.
Do you know what the attachment was on 88? And when I say do you know, I'm asking, did you open it or did you look at it or anything like that?
I mean, I'm sure I looked at it, but if you're asking me right now if I know what that is exactly, all I can say is I can assume that it's an executive summary that has to do with this case.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, on,
And all it says is, we will also need to revisit this document in light of the proffer. Please let me know if you have any questions. The other one was, with the new information, let's look at it.
you've added Brendan Miller's, I guess, B1 and B3 they're called?
Yes, sir.
Okay. On 89, you added Brendan Miller, and then CC'd your command staff?
Yes.
And on 90, I don't see Brendan Miller. Would that have been forwarded to them, or is this just specifically for your command
That's
staff?
just for my command staff.
Okay. And so there wouldn't be an additional email to show what you sent to Brendan Miller and Brendan Miller?
I don't believe so, given the context of this. I don't believe I forwarded that, but I don't know.
This appears to be dated November 7th, 2024. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And let me go back to 89,
And all it says, these
This
are the most
was
life-changing emails. You only have
dated
4 months to
November
send them.
8th,
Yeah.
2024, correct?
Yes, sir.
I will need you to watch the proffer and look at the timeline. We will need to relook at the data in context to this new information. Please let me know if you have any questions.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Krista.
And number 8, 88, is dated November 8th, 2024 as well, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now I'm going to Sir, do you see that on your screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and same questions. Is this how you sign out?
It is, sir.
Okay, and this information is all correct?
No, that is, maybe I didn't change my, signature line at that point.
Okay.
I don't know exactly when my first day was up there,
Okay.
but that was my previous position.
Okay, and that's your email, correct? You authored that email?
It is.
Okay. And in this, just to point out a few things, November 8th, 2024, and it's to your command staff, not to the Brendan Miller and Brendan Miller. And there's an attachment, and that's the same, appears to be the same attachment as number 88. Is that I can show you 88 again if you'd like.
I mean, it appears the same, but I couldn't tell you what it is.
And this email is from Lieutenant.
I'm going to object to the leading.
Who's this email from?
I object to leading, and I object to the continued characterization of the items in the email that the witness has indicated he does not recognize and cannot tell the court or the jury what they are.
I understand. As to leading, I'll sustain the leading.
Who's this email from?
Appears to be Lieutenant Joshua, sir.
Okay, and nothing's changed about his position or your position since we looked at
That's cool.
88, 89, 90?
I don't know. The only thing I have in the books is Aiden is having
I'm not sure why
You're in
my,
last for-
why
next
my
Friday.
title line is like that. I don't know. I believe at this point, I'm in DFS, given the fact that I'm writing emails to that chain of command. I don't know why my subject line is different.
That's fine. As long as you can identify that as your email, that's fine.
That is my email.
Your Honor, I'd move this in as Defendant's Exhibit 91.
Any objection?
Yes, Judge, I'd object. It contains statements made by a party not testifying would be hearsay.
All right.
Your
I
Honor,
assume that's a hearsay objection?
Yes.
Okay.
Your Honor, I would just identify that for now.
You just identify, you don't want to put it in evidence?
I won't put it into evidence. I'll put it into evidence when I call the next
Okay,
witness.
so 91 is not in evidence. Okay. Next question.
Now, Sergeant Ames, in your training as an investigator, are you the type of investigator that follows the evidence, or are you the type of investigator that follows a theory before the evidence is developed?
Me as an investigator, I go with evidence.
Okay. As an investigator, when you question individuals that may be suspected of a crime, do you let them just tell you the story without challenge?
Objection is to leading.
All right, sustain as to leading if you want.
What, if anything, do you do when you question a suspect in terms of their story?
I mean, I have a conversation with them, sir.
Okay. And if the conversation isn't consistent
Yes.
with the evidence that you have, how do you
Yeah,
handle
put it on
that?
Twitter an hour ago.
I mean, if I have the opportunity, I clarify it.
Okay. And in clarifying, what is it exactly that you're doing when you have a dispute with, or a conflict with what you know versus what the person's saying?
Can you ask that again, sir?
When you have a situation as an investigator that you're trained to be, and the facts as you know them are different than what the person is saying to you in the story or whatever conversation you're having, how do you handle that?
I mean, if I have the opportunity, I follow up and ask questions that I need to know the answers to.
Okay. And would there be any reason that you wouldn't have the opportunity if you're talking to them?
No, I mean, defendants, if you're talking about a suspect of a crime, I mean, they don't have to tell you. You can ask the questions, they don't have to tell you if that's what you're asking.
Well, I'm just asking, say, let's assume that nobody's claiming the Fifth Amendment. There's just a statement based upon what the evidence you know. What I'm trying to get at is how do you get to the evidence to determine if what you know is correct through the person that you suspect is the criminal?
If you're asking what I do, I generally ask questions till I understand.
Okay. And in terms of the types of questions, how do you do that, or how were you trained to do that?
Judge, I'd object just to relevance at this point. I'm not sure where we're going with this witness.
I think it's relevant to the investigations that would go on in any case, in any criminal case.
I'll sustain the objection as to relevance to this case.
I wouldn't be that evil and say you have to go back and watch anything. We watched 30 minutes of an officer looking at a body cam video that we weren't shown, and they weren't allowed to play the audio from the body cam. The only question, was he taken away in your car? No, it wasn't my car. Did you do anything else? Yeah, I stayed behind and had access control to the scene. No further questions.
In that situation that we were just talking about, would you challenge an individual or not challenge an individual?
Same objection, Judge, relevance.
I'll sustain the objection.
Okay, I'll move on, Judge.
Thank you.
You've seen Defense Exhibit 88, 89, 90 have been moved into evidence.
Yes.
91 has been identified by you, sir. Were there any other additional communications, either telephone or meetings relating to the subject matter of these three exhibits that you know of?
This has been so long ago now, I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, there quite possibly could be another email or text. I don't know.
Okay, I'm just asking if you know of something. I'm not asking for you to speculate.
I don't know.
During the time frame you were there, I think you said February 25 was when you left?
I believe it was February 25.
Okay. Had Brendan Miller, the digital forensics detective in this case, had he been transferred at that point?
I think he transferred either right before or right after I left.
Okay. Did you have any role in his transfer, whether administrative or making the decision?
No, not making the decision. I think my role was figure out where Miller wanted to go initially and just be a first-line supervisor for him.
Okay. And would that include, would that first-line supervisor role, would you have a lot of contact with him?
I mean, I had contact with him every day.
Okay. And would the contact that you had with him be related to the Banfield case?
Oh, let me guess. This channel. This is the first time this person is on the channel. Channel activity. Yeah. No, two. No, two comments. The first comment was my baker is done video. Keep donating for this clickbait crybaby. And now can we get a comment about your opinion on all the alts Aiden made to harass Melanie as proven as recently as this week? I don't know which weird fucker you are who are part of that weird cabal of people who are sitting every single day making alt accounts, going into people's chats to try and stir shit, who is willingly lying about whatever they want because they're just horrible people. I don't know which one of them you are. There's a good 10 people out there who have turned full anti-Aiden because I don't know why. Your mom didn't love you enough or something like that. My take on it is, I don't know which fake person you are, and I don't know how many of the fake accounts you run. I know that you should go follow BLT and see how your Lord and Savior, the weird koala, is faking everything. When you're claiming that Aiden was sitting using a twit twat, while at the same time you can see he's not using his keyboard at all, you probably should start thinking about, am I really wasting my life with this bullshit to fight for something that doesn't matter at all? Because I just want some clout and I want to be an online troll. I don't know. But my official position is go outside, find a spot where there's no snow, touch some grass, and maybe, just maybe, spend 5 minutes thinking, why the hell am I wasting my life on this one? That's my official position. Thank you for joining my TED Talk.
If things came up, yes, I would have contact.
You're gonna make me own this. How? How are you gonna make me own that I just said people should get a life? Are you gonna make another fake account and put the Austrian painter's flag on that and call me a rapist and a Yahtzee? Is that what you're gonna do? Are you gonna make 5 fake accounts where you're gonna sit and spam me and call me all kinds of stupid names, call me fat, call me stupid, call me a foreign devil? Maybe, just maybe, get a life. That's what you should do. Own your own life. Stop simping for someone and move on with your life. I'm covering a totally different trial. The only thing I've mentioned today with Aiden is that he has a new court case next Friday when I was asked what's the next case I was looking at. But you people can't get out of bed in the morning without thinking, how can I attack Turtle Boy today? It's becoming an obsession. You're kind of all turning into crusty panties. So scuttle along. See you later. Thank you. Hate watching is still watching.
With him about the Banfield case, but it wasn't. It's not like I'm doing forensics or anything. If questions come up, I generally shoot an email at my chain of command or stuff like that.
I'm gonna make you own your opinion. I just gave you my opinion. Jesus Christ, I thought Twisted Tragedies was an idiot.
I'm not advising him how to go through data or anything like that. It's my job was, I had other things that I was doing budgets and distributing cases, new cases coming in.
Okay. Did you have anything, were you a decision maker in his transfer?
No.
Do you have any idea why he was transferred?
I wasn't brought into
5 minutes
those
ago,
conversations.
Jemima,
I pretty much
think
was
about it.
told that the decision had been made. I wasn't involved in those.
You missed
Okay.
nothing.
And was there anything that you were told about the decision that was made?
Not that I can remember. I mean, there was, right, it's a police department. There's rumors going around, but I don't know what would
Yeah, we
make
don't-
the difference. I don't know where.
Your opinion on Aiden harassing women would also lose. At least I'm dyslexic and this is my third language. You stupid fuckers need to grow up.
The rumors would stop and what, I don't think I was told specifically why he was being transferred.
Okay, well, I don't want to put you in that spot, so if you don't know. Were you aware of how the experience that Brendan Miller had, the one that was transferred?
I knew that he was a, I can't think of the terminology, certified, yes, I know that Miller is experienced.
Okay. And he'd been there for how long, do you think, prior to you leaving, or prior to him being transferred?
I don't know.
Okay. In terms of your making the decisions of assignment of cases, where would he be in the decision process for you?
I don't know what you're asking, sir.
Would he be one of the more experienced ones that you would assign to, or one of the less experienced ones?
The other Miller was kind of the person who I bounced what we were going to do. He was the other Miller was the more senior Miller on the squad, so I bounced most of my decisions off of him.
Okay, and then he'd assist you with,
Oh, we're getting back under another count. So you go on tirades to defend a woman abuser, but when you call out for it, you can't read, get a spine. No, you can't spell. That's the difference. A woman abuser. You're fucking a retard. You're so effing stupid. Yeah, I mean literal retard. I know people don't like the R word, but you are a retard. A woman abuser, because you made up a story or you believe those fucking idiots who made up a story about him. Because now when Melanie Little finally addressed the harassment she's been facing, all of a sudden, oh, by the way, it's Aiden who's been doing it. You fucking retards. Get the fuck out. Go sit in your own little piss puddle with the 5150, the pea drinker, and the effing insane Australians. Ciao. Mods, it's open season.
He would, yes, he would assist me in that.
and do you know how long he had been in the digital forensics section?
No.
Okay,
I know it was a while, but I don't know.
okay. Judge, I don't have any further questions.
All right, cross-examination?
You have
I'm
any
going to leave
questions?
91 there, if that's okay.
Oh, that's fine.
Good morning, how
Good
are
morning,
you?
ma'am. How you doing?
All right, so just so we're clear,
Thank you, Gata K. Baker and I had 2 babies. How time fly. Gata K, it's always nice to have babies with you.
you weren't in digital forensics very long, correct?
I was not.
Okay, and you didn't get involved in any of the actual digital forensics involved in this case, correct?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and you weren't involved in Detective Miller's transfer,
No, ma'am.
and you weren't involved in Detective Miller's work on this case, correct?
No, ma'am.
Okay, these emails you've been shown, you just passed them on, is that correct?
That is correct.
They didn't require any specific action of you, correct?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and those requests were to examine the evidence in this case in the context of new evidence that had been received, isn't that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Did you change, distort, or hide any evidence in this case?
No, ma'am.
Did you direct anyone to change, distort, or hide any evidence in this case?
No, ma'am.
Thank you, nothing further.
All right, any
Hey,
readings?
Nicola. You're late, but you missed nothing.
Sir, I appreciate your answers. Did you feel as though anyone was suggesting that you distorted, changed, or did anything to evidence based upon these emails?
No.
Okay. Thank you, I don't have any further
Is he
questions.
subject to recall?
No, Your Honor.
No, ma'am. All right, you're free to go, sir. Thank you. Have a good day. Your next
you.
witness?
Leah Smith,
Excuse me?
Detective Leah Smith.
Detective Smith?
Well, you can, it's just you have to subscribe. You have to be here for a minute. Then you will be here.
Detective
morning.
Smith. Can you please state your name and spell it for the court reporter?
Leah Smith, Leah.
No, if it's idiots who just come in for that, they can get a block. I'm done being nice guy, and because they won't come back and say, well, fuck it, you gave me 30 minutes to think about it. No, they'll just come back with 5 new accounts, and they will sit there and say, oh, Aiden is bad. Well, I'm not Aiden. I'm not Aiden's dad. Noodle Mom still haven't arrived. I hope they will be here soon.
Smith.
And what division in the Fairfax County Police are you currently in?
Homicide.
Okay, and were you in homicide during the time of February 24th, 2023?
I was.
Okay, so you're familiar with this case and the Banfield case and
27.
Juliana Perez Magalhães case?
I am.
Okay, and as a homicide detective, you're trained in certain investigatory techniques, correct?
The logical.
Yes.
What are those, if you could just tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury?
So we are gatherers of facts. We will respond to scenes, talk with patrol officers who have already arrived. They'll give us a briefing of the case. We'll identify people that we need to talk to, places we need to go, and gather other information and track down what information we have gotten, and if we need surveillance video, or go to stores and track back movements, identify people to talk to. We'll canvass a neighborhood. We'll talk with crime scene to figure out what needs to be done in their capacity and how that will work in our capacity. We will just gather all the information that we can and put together, to the best of our ability, what happened in a particular incident.
And how do the theories of cases emanate from an investigation?
So the best course of action when you're investigating a case is to collect facts and information. You don't have theories to begin with. You have an open mind going into it because you don't know what happened. And then you try to gather all of the information so that it gives you a clearer picture as to what happened.
And in terms of gathering the information in order to get a clearer picture for, I guess, the entire squad, what mechanisms do you utilize in order to make sure everybody's on the same page?
We discuss what we've done, who we've talked to, what information we have gathered or captured. Crime scene will let us know what they have. We usually have a detective who is with crime scene as they're doing their work, and they'll pass on information. If we have other entities doing work on our behalf or assisting us in any way, they'll provide information, and then that will be discussed amongst the squad so that we all have a full picture of what we know.
So beginning with February 24th, 2023, had you developed any theories on that day based upon what you saw at the crime scene?
No.
Okay. Give the ladies and gentlemen of the jury as to kind of what the timeline is for any theories that you may have had.
Personally?
Yes, as an investigator.
So I did not, and don't have or don't create theories as I'm investigating a case until I have all of the evidence that we can collect. And even then, a theory of the case and how it's going to be presented in court is really something the Commonwealth's attorney is going to do. They're the ones who are going to present it. So we will give them all of the facts and all of the information that we have, and whatever theory that's going to come from that is something that they're going to present to it. We do make a determination if there is probable cause to get warrants for somebody in a case. So in this particular case, I did not have a conclusion until we had all of the evidence in the room.
Okay.
The blood evidence and all of that stuff, that was really understood.
And, okay. What was the time frame on acquiring all of that information in order to potentially have theories? If you were
Those pieces came in toward the very end of the investigation, a full understanding of the sequence of events that we could tell and understand in the room that came toward the very end.
Okay. But in terms of the hard evidence that's done, like DNA, fingerprints, digital forensics, when is the evidence available in order to arrive at conclusions or rule things out or any of those sorts of things?
That's a sliding situation. So things are submitted to the lab and you might get information and lab sheets back in different times. It's not all given to us at once. And so having that portion of the investigation, you might submit something and then realize that you need to submit more things, or the lab will only take a certain.
The defense is kind of maybe he didn't do it, or maybe he didn't do it as much as they did it, or maybe, and someone might have changed their minds to try and pin it on him after the au pair flipped. I don't know, because he gets nowhere with his own witnesses.
Number of things, and then you do a second submission. So then your lab sheets will come in as they come in, kind of in a longer time period.
And the decision process amongst the homicide investigators, is that just within the room of homicide? The actual investigators? Let me see if I can articulate that a little better.
You got kicked out.
You've just
You got
described
kicked out.
the gathering of evidence and the discussions. Would that be with the homicide detectives? Or who else would be included in that?
It could be anybody who's involved in the investigation. We do briefings with all the entities that are part of it. So it could be computer forensics, it could be crime scene. Our supervisors are there. If we're having, so it could be different meetings over the time period of the investigations. There might be different people who are present during those.
Every time he tries to get a point in, he is either leading the witness, he doesn't have the foundation to do it, or it is outside of this witness knowledge. And it's constantly, every single time.
Discussions.
And is it, would you describe the homicide group as being the investigators and the supervisors in another way?
The homicide detectives are the investigators, yes.
Okay, and just so it's clear for the jury, the chain of command going up the supervisors, they're not investigators, correct?
They are not investigators, they're supervisors.
Okay. Did there come a time when supervisors were suggesting theories to the homicide investigators in this case?
So we had a briefing within the first week of the incident where we were discussing everything that everybody had done and the information that was collected. And our supervisor at the time told us there were two theories in the case and we needed to get behind the right one.
Who was the supervisor?
Lieutenant Smuck,
Okay. Who was in the room?
the homicide investigators, the detectives.
Okay, were there any other people?
I don't recall if there were victim services or advocates or our crime analyst or others who might be there during a briefing when we have just had an incident.
Was one of those theories catfishing?
It wasn't stated what the theory was. It just said there were two theories and you need to get behind the right one.
Okay, at some point, in order to get behind it, you had to know what it was. When did you find out?
I'm not sure who said exactly that it was catfishing, that was what it was. That's just what I had begun to understand and hear from other people.
Now, did you or any of your, well, actually, I can only ask you, what, if anything, did you do, given what you just testified to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury about your methodology, what, if anything, did you do or say after hearing that?
I told Lieutenant Smuck in the room full of investigators that at this point in time, nobody should have a theory in the case, that we are still at the very beginning and we should only be investigating and gathering facts and information.
And how was that received?
There was no response.
And did this meeting end? Did the conflict between your statement and the theory that was sitting out there continue in conflict after this meeting? Like in future meetings?
I would say that the investigators on this case knew to investigate.
I think that he's saying that there was one line that they could only pursue this line, and if anyone brought up a catfishing theory or something like that, they weren't allowed to touch it. But these are seasoned detectives. They would never, ever say, yeah, we were forced not to look at the evidence. That's only in Canton.
With an open mind, even though that might not be along the lines of what the supervisors might have wanted us to look at, how the case to investigate a particular line.
Okay. And did there ever come a time, I know you said at the end of the case, that the catfish theory went away?
Objection leading, objection, facts not in evidence.
As to leading, I'll sustain. As to leading.
When, if at all, did the theory of catfishing go away from this case?
I don't know.
Was that then, well, did it ever go away?
I don't know.
Okay. And would that be for you to know, or would that be someone else within homicide?
Judge, I'm going to object to the form of the question. I don't think go away is clear enough. I mean, obviously, we're here on a catfish
What's
theory.
your legal objection?
Judge it form, that is an unclear question.
Overruled. Go ahead. You can answer. You remember the question.
Are you right? Would you just mind repeating the question?
So what I'm trying to determine over the lifetime of the case, was the catfishing theory ever disregarded or put to the side?
No.
Was there, during the life of the case, excuse me, sorry, was there periods of time where the homicide squad was not supporting the catfish theory?
So everything is on the table. I wouldn't say that it wasn't, we explored all options, and that was always on the table.
Okay. And when was it that in your mind, catfishing was confirmed or negated?
Is catfishing really your biggest problem? You want that to be dismissed? At this point, I would, if I was the prosecutor, say, yeah, well, fuck off with the catfishing. Let's just get him for the murder.
It was toward the end, I would say, that once we understood the full for the investigation, catfishing is maybe how you got to a point, but what happened in the room, in the bedroom, that is really what you need to figure out. That's the determination of who would be charged in the crime of murder. So once you understood all of that and what happened within the room, and then you have the other evidence of it coming forward and through the digital forensics and the interviews and all of the stuff, that decision was made on who to charge for it based on the forensics evidence.
And you charged Juliana Peres Magalhães in October of 2023, correct?
Yes,
So was it concluded at that point?
she was charged for her involvement in the crime. So she wasn't charged with Christine.
Right. And so was it based upon her recantation that Brendan Banfield was charged?
No.
In terms of the catfish theory, actually strike that, Judge. I don't have any further questions, Your Honor.
Okay, cross-examination.
Good morning, Detective.
Good morning.
So you've told us that you conducted your investigation in a manner consistent with following the evidence. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. You explained to us that theories were certainly discussed, but that they did not drive how this investigation was conducted, correct?
Ultimately, no.
All right. Counsel asked you about this meeting where you were told and detectives were told that there were two theories and you needed to get behind the right one. You challenged that, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Did that statement impact how you investigated the case?
No.
Did you see that statement impact how your coworkers investigated the case?
No.
Your investigation was focused on who killed Joseph Ryan and Christine Banfield, correct?
That's correct.
And you followed the evidence in your investigation, and that evidence led you to charging decisions, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Juliana Peres Magalhães was charged because you were able to prove that she shot Joe Ryan. The evidence supported that, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And Mr. Banfield was charged when? What was the turning point in your recollection of when Mr. Banfield was charged?
When we got the blood evidence back.
Thank you. Nothing further.
All right, redirect.
Detective Smith, were you ever feeling pressure to follow a theory instead of evidence in this case?
I did not.
You spoke out about it, correct?
Yes.
Did you feel pressure by command after you spoke out about it?
No, I did not feel pressure. I know what I have to do as an investigator. I know how to investigate, and no matter what they thought or the theories they wanted to put forward, that was not how I was going to investigate or provide mentorship or counsel to other investigators on the squad.
Did you raise that with other investigators, the appropriateness of command staff suggesting theories?
Yes.
Okay. And did you address that with the group?
Individually, as a group, yes.
And who was it that was applying the pressure to you?
Whoever was in charge at the time, at the beginning, Lieutenant Smuck, who made that comment in the first time.
After March 24th, March 24, 2024.
It would become from Lieutenant Giascio and I think at the time it was a Captain Bruce.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
All right, is subject to recall? No? No?
No, ma'am.
All right, Detective Frigo, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, since we started a little early, I'm going to go ahead and have our 15-minute recess now. I do not discuss.
Should I unblock the troll so we at least have something to do today? We spent just a little bit shy of 2 hours of having an officer confirm that she didn't leave in his squad car. 2 officers confirm we weren't pressured to only look at the case in one way. So the catfishing theory was never off the table. They didn't just make it up in the end. What did we learn yesterday? That a guy didn't look the same way at the digital evidence as the others, but couldn't really say anything other than, well, it's depending on the people who looks at it, how they see it. What if who, if any, KDD, it's probably not the hospital Wi-Fi. It's YouTube. YouTube is both YouTube and TwitTwat apparently is updating their code because both of them are really, really, really slow today. I'm just about ready to shut this down for 3 hours and then come back and speed run through nothing for the rest of the day because this is such a waste of time. It's such a waste of time. He hasn't put in any evidence other than, did you believe that nanny instantly? No. Why not? Because you look at the evidence and see if it lines up. You don't just trust them on their word. How do you do that? You ask questions. Okay. Yeah, I was a genius yesterday starting later. I should have known this, but I thought he would have one, maybe two witnesses left, and then we'll get closing arguments, and then bingo bango, out by lunch. I could go enjoy my night off. This is just horrendous. I saw another content creator thinking he was putting on a good defense and he might get away with it. This case has been interesting. I think the state could have done more. I've seen the same, and I have replied to some of them and say, there's no way a jury will find this man innocent. No way. Just because they built it all off, they had a bad last day from the state. And I agree with that. Shitty witnesses. But it don't change the fact all the videos we haven't seen is the wife and Mr. Ryan covered in blood in the bedroom. The juries have seen all of that. Trust her or not, you have the nanny who have testified, we did this so we could be lovers. She moved into the bedroom 8 months later. The bodily fluids on her sheets was his and hers. And you have pictures of them sharing a bath before the murders happened. No way in hell, especially with this defense, is he gonna walk. And I don't even think his attorney is trying to get him off. I think he's going to say, can we just get it down to murder 2? Nothing in this case. And I don't know how these creators sees it that way. I think, and it's probably, and I don't know if it's been lawyer creators or it's layman creators like me. Lawyer creators, I think, and this is no knock on them because they are lawyers. They know everything about the law. But the problem is they look at it through the lens of the law. The law doesn't determine outcomes in trials. It's the jury. And a lot of people forget this because, you have to prove this, that, and the other. No, you just have to convince 12 people this guy did it. And they have watched video after video of a woman on the brink of death they try to save. Trust me, that talks louder than any technicality in 22-23.4 that you have to show something. The jury doesn't know the law. The jury knows their own emotions, and they know how I feel in my stomach when I looked at that picture. This guy is toast. I am willing to bet that I will own my own opinions if he's let off. And we're not saying it could be downgraded to murder 2. He's going to be found guilty. Murder 1, murder 2, whatever. I don't care. But he's going to go down for murder. And I will own my own opinions if that doesn't happen. That's what I'm saying. Exactly. It's you and me who determines how a case ends. And I can sit and listen to Ricada talk about constitutional law all night long. What is right, what is wrong, and how everything is going to end up, and how this isn't a crime because this and that. If it goes in front of a jury, all bets are off. Because Ricada went to law school and learned about the law. The jury, they went to plumbing school, they went to accountant school, they went to military school. They don't know shit about the law, and they don't care about the law. They only care about how they feel when they're in the courtroom. They will look at the evidence, but in the end, the only thing you have to determine guilt or not guilt is your stomach. How does it feel when I look at this? I mean, if they can't get the evidence admitted for whatever Dumbo was going to say yesterday, if they can, they'll have a better shot. No, because all Dumbo was going to say is, well, it could have been Christine who set up that meeting. He couldn't prove it, and he can't disprove it. So it's kind of like with the Celebrite in the Karen Reed case. It couldn't have happened at 2:27 a.m., but it could have happened before and after. So it could have happened at 2:27. The only thing you couldn't say is it did happen. It happened in some point, which is the only case where that ever happened. But he testified that it could actually have happened at 2:27, which is another thing all the idiots haven't figured out, that that was actually what he said, that he just couldn't determine if it happened at 2:27, but it could have happened at every time because they made up their new fantasy. Well, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they're looking more at the law than we are, because I'm trying to see it if I was in the courtroom, how I would see it. Yeah, that's how I see it as well. You have to depend on people actually understanding. And that's why I'm saying, first of all, I don't like this prosecution team. I think they are a bad prosecution team. They haven't done a good job. But they don't need to be rocket surgeons to figure this one out, because you have all the blood. You have the co-conspirator, and they're not going to bring this up. Well, they're probably going to bring it up in closing. You have a kid who lost their mom. It's a trifecta. You don't need more than that. People are way too, well, you didn't do this to the law. Yeah, the law doesn't matter in the courtroom. Yeah, she didn't do that Fed side. It's weird he came back right on time to save the day. Yeah, that's the another thing. I think most of these people saying, well, he wasn't in on it. Why was he at McDonald's? Oh, he had to use the bathroom. Why was the nanny right across the street? So the nanny set this up. What if any would she have to gain from this? Because what if he just came back and punched Ryan in the face and said, "Get off my wife, I'm calling 911." Then what happened? Yeah, we're on morning break. Nothing has happened all morning. He's trying again to imply that the police officers was forced to have a certain opinion, and every police officer said, I wasn't. Bum, ba-da-dum, bum, 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 ba-dum, ba-dum. But I don't know. Are we going to have another 5 witnesses of this? Because it's just repetitive. There's nothing in it, and you're just going to annoy the jury. Because imagine, we have been able to yell about trolls. We have talked about the lies Jemima has been spreading about my age. We have figured out there is a good Sue and a bad Sue. And the jury has been sitting like this. I didn't like the nanny, but it's hard to disregard her testimony. That's another point. You don't like her, but did the defense prove she was lying? No. He got nowhere with her. Yeah, she got really testy, but he kept asking questions, and she said, well, I don't know. I can't answer that. And then he asked the same question over and over, so I would have gotten testy as well. And I didn't feel that he disproved what she said, that he put it squarely on her. So, yeah, I don't like her. I know she took a plea deal. I hate it when the crown witness, head witness, most important witness has plea deals, because it means they have something to lose, which means I don't trust them. I instantly distrust anyone who has a plea deal that'll get them out of prison tomorrow if the state wins this case, because that's not how justice works. But he didn't disprove what she was saying. He just tried to get her to say something else.
All right, we ready for the jury?
Beg your pardon?
Ready for the jury?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I haven't forgotten your birthday. Your birthday is Saturday. Or Sunday. No, it's Saturday. It's the 24th. Someone reminded me yesterday. Oh yeah, the Uvalde came back very late last night, and he was found not guilty in every. And I saw some people. Oh, that's horrible. No, that means justice wasn't. Because you shouldn't just because you are mad about something happening, just want someone's head on the table. You have to prove it.
Your next
though.
witness,
Matt Nielsen.
Matt Nielsen.
That's a Danish sounding name. It's another officer who didn't do anything.
Stand here, face Madam Clerk, raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to testify truthfully in this case under penalty of law? I do. Thank you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Can you please tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury your name and spell your name for the court report?
Lies, slander, lies, slander.
Matthew Nilsson, Nilssen.
And where are you currently employed?
I'm currently employed with the
Dana, the problem is they have an incitement to lie on the stand. And who are the ones who has to determine if they lied on the stand? It's the same state that benefits from them lying on the stand. That's why I don't like plea deals. Because let's say that you are now my witness. You have been in collusion with Jemima, making up fake stories about me not remembering her birthday. And we are in a situation where there might be some Baker's baddies going on. You come to me and say, I can't do that. And I say, well, if you testify about how all of this was Jemima making up these lies, you will not get the Baker's baddie. And you say, well, I really don't want that. So I'm going to go and say, well, Jemima made all of this up. I am the one who then determines if you are still up for punishment or not. Even though you actually were the one who told Jemima, just go there, spread a rumor that he forgot your birthday. Because you were the first one to sing. And I want you to tell me that it's Jemima so I can her. Why should I say, well, you didn't live up to the plea deal? Because I am the only one who has to determine if you are truthful or not. And what you're testifying about is helping my case. So how is that fair? If you want a plea deal, shouldn't the plea deal be locked? Because it's the state who determines who is lying on the stand. That's why you will never, ever see a perjury charge brought against anyone who is helping a state case. But anyone who doesn't help the state case could potentially be struck with perjury. Is it fair? No. Is it how the law should work? Absolutely not. But that's how it is. That's why I don't like plea deals, because it gives you an incentive to lie to benefit the state. And that's not a good deal. And you can then say, well, the judge is the one who finally going to give her punishment. Sure. But the state has recommended that she only gets time served, and I don't like that. This is a crime that normally gets 10 years imprisonment. We saw how Adam Montgomery's horrible ex-wife got out of prison after 2.5 years, serving 7 to 15 years in prison, because she all of a sudden remembered everything Adam did. It gives you an incentive to lie because you will benefit from it, and the state will benefit from your lies. And no one else is there to vet it and say, no, that didn't sound truthful. That's why I don't like it.
Fairfax County Police Department as a detective sergeant with the Major Crimes Bureau.
Okay. Were you previously in the homicide division?
Yes, I was.
When was that?
I was employed as a homicide detective prior to my promotion to sergeant from approximately February 2023 until what would have been
don't go back.
November
Stay here.
of
Nothing has happened.
2024.
Okay, so I'm sorry, you were the homicide sergeant at that time?
I was a detective on the squad.
Okay. And then you transferred to where you are now, which is in the homicide division?
I work for the Major Crimes Bureau. I am not the supervisor of the homicide unit.
Okay.
I work for
What areas are you working in?
I supervise the sex crime squad.
Okay, gotcha. Now, calling your attention to February 24th, 2023, were you involved actively with the homicide that occurred at the Banfield house?
Yes, I was.
Okay, and what role did you play in that?
I assisted beginning on that day with the investigation by handling investigative tasks such as writing search warrants, and then throughout the remainder of the investigation with tasks that were assigned to me by my supervisor and other detectives handling the investigation as primary.
Okay, and based upon the time frame that you said you were there, you were still there in October of '23 when Juliana Peres Magalhães was charged, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and were you involved in that?
Yes, I was.
Okay, was there any sort of planning that went with that?
Yes.
Okay, what was the ultimate goal of charging her with murder?
I would state there were several goals that included the fact that evidence supported probable cause to charge her with murder at that time. But based on our investigation, there was belief that there was more to the story that could be elicited from her. And the effect of charging her with a crime was effectively a way to introduce a change in circumstances between her and Brendan Banfield that could lead to the elicitation of more information about what happened.
Okay, so charging her, keeping her in jail, the pressure that would be caused, was that part of the plan?
Yes, in terms of in any type of incident in which you have multiple people involved in the carrying out of that act, there is competing interests between self-interest and cooperation. And by introducing circumstances that would encourage cooperation with law enforcement over cooperation with other parties, it could change the outcome of the investigation, change the amount of information available to us as investigators.
Okay, like a plea agreement to a lesser charge and no further jail time, something like that?
There's a number of different ways that could be accomplished, or the ultimate goal could be accomplished.
And that's ultimately what happened, though. That's what caused the change in Juliana Peres Magalhães.
My understanding is she did at one point cooperate with detectives. I was not involved at that point in the investigation.
Now,
She will be
while you
arrested.
were on the homicide squad, were you ever assigned to listening to the jail phone calls?
No, I was not.
Okay. Was that something that was employed in order to determine whether or not she was subject to the pressure that had been intended?
I know that someone was assigned to review those calls, and the information learned from those calls was part of our investigation.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I don't have any further questions.
Cross-examination? All right, is this witness subject to recall?
No.
All right, you're free to go, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your next witness,
Your Honor, Patrick Bruce.
Patrick Bruce.
Can someone tell me what's going on?
Describe your role of contact or
Captain,
of February.
head of the entire under the sir.
And you were part of the, and you previously were with the Fairfax County Police Department?
That's correct.
Okay. And in what capacity was your final position?
I was the deputy chief.
Okay, was
Of
that
of
with-
the Administrative Support Bureau, I'm sorry.
Yes. At some point prior to going to the administrative, were you transferred from another department to go to the Administrative Support Bureau?
Just for clarification, are you asking my previous assignment before
Yes.
that?
Yes.
Yes, sir, I was the deputy chief of the Major Crimes Bureau.
Okay, and you were transferred from there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and was that of your own volition?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you wanted that transfer to the Administrative Support Bureau?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, during your time as deputy chief of the Major Crimes Division, you were overseeing or supervising the homicide squad at that time, correct?
It was one of several squads under the Major Crimes Bureau.
Okay, I'm just asking about the homicide squad. You were supervising the homicide squad.
Could I have permission to clarify?
Yeah, sure.
So I was the head of the entire Major Crimes Bureau, which encompassed the Domestic Violence Unit, the Sex Crime Squad, Child Abuse Squad, Robbery, Cold Case, as well as Homicide.
Okay. And were you involved, or were you in that position at the time of February 24, 2023?
So at that time, I was the captain of the Major Crimes Violent Crimes Division, so not a deputy chief.
And when did you become deputy chief?
I became a deputy chief in January of 2024.
Okay. And did you have contact or involvement in the case that we're here for today?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
No, I think the point is still that he tries to say they had a set goal and they just went after that.
And how would you describe your role in that case among all the other ones that you were handling?
Overall, my responsibilities are similar for all the cases in the Major Crimes Bureau, to include this one. So it's oversight, it's providing advice as needed, support, guidance, and then also raising concerns in the investigative process if those arise.
Okay. Were there concerns in the investigative process by you in this case?
I think that's fair to say, yes.
Okay. And did it relate to digital forensics?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And just to get to it, were you involved in the transfer of Detective Miller from digital forensics to child sex?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In fact, you at one point spoke to.
Objection leading.
All right, I'll sustain as to leave.
What, if anything, did you say to Deputy Chief Freed about Brendan Miller to have him transferred?
I had indicated that, as far as I was concerned, Detective Miller was not to work another digital forensic case that pertained to the Major Crimes Bureau.
And were you aware of his history prior to you making that, I guess, happen?
Could you please clarify?
His work history there in digital forensics?
Was I aware that he was a detective within the division, the bureau? I guess I'm looking.
Well, I'm assuming you were aware of him being a detective in the bureau. Were you aware of his background in digital forensics?
I guess I would have to say no at that point.
Okay. Was that anything you took into account with regard to Detective Miller?
No, sir.
And so is it fair to say, or what if anything, or what if any case was the reason that you asked for him to be transferred?
It would be this case that we're here for.
Okay. And what item of this case was it that caused you such concern?
Could I actually go back for 1 second? I didn't say that he needed to be transferred. I indicated that he wouldn't work a case for the Major Crimes Bureau. That was Deputy Chief Freed's decision whether or not he ultimately would be transferred.
Okay, so you as the head of you're the deputy chief of the homicide or the Major Crimes Bureau. By saying that, you essentially caused the transfer.
Judge, I'm going to object to his characterization of the evidence. Objection is to form. The witness has testified that at this point in time, he was the captain of Major Crimes when the decision was made, not the deputy chief.
Is that correct?
I was the deputy chief of Major Crimes when I made that statement.
Okay, and when you're the deputy chief, you make that kind of statement, especially with major crimes, that gets things moving, correct?
I certainly acknowledge that had influence on his transfer.
Okay, and his transfer was classified as performance management? Do you know that term?
I didn't know that that's what his transfer was classified as.
Okay, have you ever heard that term?
We have a performance management document.
Okay, but not a doctrine that allows transfer without documenting discipline?
I couldn't comment on that.
Was there discipline associated with this decision?
Not that I'm aware of.
Were you disciplining him by moving him out of your area?
Absolutely not. I actually retained him in the child exploitation unit.
Okay, so where he is right now.
Yes, sir.
Now, calling your attention to immediately after the killing of Christine Banfield. Were you in meetings at that time when you were a captain?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And were you involved with any theories relating to the case after the killing?
I'm sure at some point.
Okay. Do you know what catfishing is?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Was that something that you were pushing with your homicide detectives at any point?
I wouldn't characterize that as pushing.
Okay. Would you tell them that this is the theory? Is that not pushing?
So I had a specific meeting with then Lieutenant Harrington. I believe it was in November of 2023. I was asked by the two commanders, Lieutenant Matthew Lewick, as well as Lieutenant Aaron Weeks, to meet with Lieutenant Harrington. During that time, I actually proposed 3 separate theories to Lieutenant Harrington. And we discussed those theories at that time. So there was not only one theory I was pushing, or presenting, I should say. Ultimately, I was looking for an objective and comprehensive analysis of all the facts and evidence in this case.
When the catfish theory came up, had there been a collection of all of the evidence, all the digital forensics, fingerprints, DNA, all of those things?
Just like with any investigation, it was fluid.
Okay. Had that theory of catfishing come out before any of that was finalized?
I'm sorry, could you go back to the things you had listed?
DNA, digital forensics, and
You should be glad you're late because you have missed nothing.
fingerprints.
The digital forensics, for the most part, had been back at that point.
What time frame was that?
That would probably be the spring of 2023
Okay, so
to fall of 2023.
So my question is, within weeks of the killing of Christine Banfield, did you suggest the catfish theory in a meeting of the homicide detectives?
I don't recall ever being in a meeting with homicide detectives. I do recall talking to my command team about that possibility.
And who was your command team?
Lieutenant Weeks as well as Lieutenant Lewick.
Okay, and
It's
where
Thursday,
was
she has
Lieutenant
the phone
Joshua there at
number
that point?
He was not.
Okay, but you brought him in, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and that was March of 2024?
That's correct.
And it was at that point that you had decided that catfish theory was?
Objection
viable?
leading.
All right, I'll sustain as the leading.
What, if anything, had you concluded about the catfish theory at the time that Lieutenant Giassio was brought in?
I hadn't made any conclusions at that point. Did I have a strong working theory that this was a catfish? Absolutely.
Okay, and was that something that you told Lieutenant, I guess, Giassio when he came on with you?
I don't ever recall explicitly having that conversation. I think he probably came to that conclusion on his own.
Okay, but the two of you were pretty close in terms of the investigative issues, correct?
Yes, we were.
You were both in narcotics together at one point?
Yes, we were.
And you brought him in to major crimes, correct?
I did. That was a collective decision amongst my command team.
Okay. And so is it not true that you insisted you had to have Giassio come in March of 2024?
That is not true.
Okay. Were you aware that he was on the Brady list?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what's the Brady list for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury?
It's basically an indication of a time or potential in where you weren't totally forthcoming.
So truthfulness?
It could be.
But that's essentially the basis of the discipline in the police department, truthfulness, correct?
I think that could vary as well.
Okay.
Ethics, not necessarily truthfulness, so it varies.
But at the time you hired him into that division, he was on the Brady list, correct?
I did not hire him.
Okay, at the time that you asked him to come in and be a lieutenant in your section.
So could I have an opportunity to explain the transfer process?
Judge, I think at this point in time, I would object. I'm not sure the relevance of a non-testifying witnesses being on the Brady list.
Oh, I think we've already established that if you want to move on from that.
Yes.
Okay.
At the time that he was hired, he was
What is catfishing? Catfishing is where you, under a false pretense, for example, you write a YouTube creator and says, "Hey, can you help me make a YouTube channel?" And they say, "Yeah, sure, let's figure that one out." And you start engaging with them and talk about, "Well, I really want to do it because my puppy is sick," and they say, "Okay, but let's set it up. Let's help you out." Yeah, and because I know you can make a little bit of money on the YouTubes, and you say, "Well, it takes some time," and then you end up saying, "But hey, you could send me some money." That's trying to catfish someone into to pay for you. So you'll under false pretenses try to lure people into doing something, or if you're a company, well, not a company, if you get an email that they'll call it more like a scam, but catfishing when you try to lure someone either using fake pictures or promises about something or trying to set them up and emotionally manipulate them to doing stuff. Maybe just became a member. That can't be true. You were a member before. Well, welcome, Meavy. I thought you were a member before. You were catfishing me with your membership.
He was
Oh,
on
you're
the
being
Brady list, correct?
sarcastic. Well, I don't know, Becky.
When he was hired by the police department?
No, by.
can't read
by,
sarcasms.
You as a lieutenant within major crimes.
Again, I'd have to explain the transfer process and the selection process.
March 24, was he on the Brady's list?
Yes,
Okay. And this is a 2024, March of 2024.
correct.
And has he been put on the Brady list again during this time?
Objection is to relevance.
What's the relevance as to this time?
Judge, it goes to truthfulness, which will ultimately come in to the decisions to have him involved, the decision to
But at
why.
this time, I'll sustain as to at this time.
Okay. Now, sir, you indicated that you,
No, because you have a clear stated purpose on your GoFundMe is to get money. Let's say you were Meavy, and Meavy, I'm maybe not trying to lure someone to help you with something and then turn it into, hey, you could just give me money. Meavy slides into your DMs and says, hey, sailor, I really liked whatever you were doing in Baker's chat today, and you say, oh, that's interesting, and then they try to push a little bit about, hey, wow, 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 and you think, oh my, and then they say, well, I need. I know it's because I just had my boiler just went out the other week, but so I'm so cold, and I wish I knew some cool guy who could help me with a little bit of money. And you say, well, I can send you $50. Oh, you're so sweet. Or you do the, hey, should we meet up in Atlantic City? And they say, no, well, I can't because I can't fly. I'm on the no-fly list, but I can rent a car and drive there. Well, I can rent it for you. And that's catfishing. It's when you try to lure someone under false pretenses.
so you decided.
That's also
that
catfishing, yeah.
Detective
False
Miller
pretenses.
was not going to be, I think as you said, involved in any other major crimes while you're there.
Thank you, Meavy.
Any of the digital forensics for the major crimes cases, correct.
And,
You got to start all over.
and then he was transferred.
Within weeks, I would say, yes, sir.
Okay. And what was your basis for that?
So there were a few factors. Would you like me to expand on this?
Were they related to this case?
Yes, sir.
Exclusively related to this case?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Was it related to his work product?
Yes, sir.
And are you talking about the executive summary work product?
That was part of it.
Okay. And so his conclusions were not agreeable to you?
I wouldn't word that way.
How would you word it?
I would word it that his analysis was incorrect.
Okay. And at that time, when you determined his analysis wasn't correct, had you had any training in digital forensics?
I have my master's in computer forensics.
Okay, so did you look at some of the items of evidence in order to arrive at that informed decision?
So he had provided me a zip file of a Cellbrite, but that wasn't able to be downloaded.
Okay, so you didn't really review anything in order coming to that
She
conclusion?
did get food.
Well, I can get into the specifics if you'd like me to.
Well, I'm asking some questions right now, and perhaps we'll get there.
Okay.
Well, it's also if you, for instance, say I am a little bit, how to describe myself. Think of a younger J-Lo, and then you go on a date and you meet someone who looks like me. That's also catfishing.
You didn't actually check the source of his findings. with the
Objection
digital-
leading.
What, if anything, did you do to check the source of his findings, the digital forensics?
I didn't conduct my own digital forensic analysis, if that's what you're asking.
Okay, and I think you said you couldn't get into the portable case when you were given to.
The zip file of the Cellbrite, correct.
Okay. And so what would be the reason that you would differ from your expert's opinion?
Because of some of the unsubstantiated deductions that he made.
Okay, so it's based upon his decisions relating to his
digital forensics expertise?
So the deductions and the wrongful analysis.
Okay, so the decisions.
I wouldn't use that word. I'd say deductions and wrongful analysis.
Okay, and the wrongful analysis relating to the actual digital forensics that were downloaded?
Some of them, yes.
Okay, and did you ever go over those with him in
I would call that
in
grooming
detail?
more than
I would ask clarifying questions.
Did you tell him exactly what it was that you disagreed with in terms of his deductions and his analysis?
I think a couple of them, yes.
Okay, how many were there in total?
Off the top of my head, I could probably list at least 4.
Okay, and so it was based on that, based on your reading of his executive summary, that you decided that it had gotten to the point where he's no longer doing any more major crimes under your tutelage.
Digital forensics for major crimes cases. I retained him as a detective within the Major Crimes Bureau Child Exploitation Unit.
I understand that, the digital forensics section.
He was not going to do digital forensic analysis for any other major crimes case.
Okay, and sorry, bear with me for a second. Were you aware that his work was peer-reviewed outside of the police department?
I was.
And were you surprised to see that they concurred in his findings?
I have a question to clarify. Did they concur on his extraction or his analysis?
Both.
That's news to me.
Okay, so that peer review held no weight for you because you had already decided that the analysis was wrong.
Objection leading.
All right, sustained as to leading. You want to rephrase?
Why was it that the peer review did not hold any weight for you?
Because ultimately the analysis was incorrect.
Okay. Now, in terms of the Cellbrite messages that you say you reviewed, what was it that was the problem with those?
The Cellbrite messages that he had provided,
Yes.
I wasn't able to open the zip file.
Okay, so we don't know anything about the Cellbrite messages as to your decisions on his analysis. Were you privy to a printout of his communications on FetLife?
Yes.
Okay. Were you privy to the communications from Telegram?
Yes.
And do you understand how those were obtained?
Through the digital forensics.
Do you know how that's done?
It's essentially tied to software that then downloads both from a cell phone and or laptop or any digital device.
And did you review that data?
I didn't review all the data, no.
What data did you review?
I reviewed the correspondence.
I'm sorry, the what?
The correspondence on Telegraph, the correspondence on
Okay.
FetLife. There's a significant amount of data when they download these items.
Okay. Now, are you still working as a police officer?
I am not.
Okay. On July 10th, when we were here before the court, you had just moved to the Administrative Support Bureau, correct?
I moved there in February of 2025.
Okay, so, but that's when we found out you had moved, or I found out that you moved to the Administrative Support.
Objection, counsel's testifying.
Oh, okay.
Correct?
I can't testify that when you found out I was
Okay,
moved
on the
there.
10th, we talked about this, correct?
Yes.
And how you had enjoyed this position, and you were really looking forward to, you know, the things that happen in an Administrative Support Bureau, and the challenge of not having, that's being in more of an administrative role than being in major crimes?
I would agree that it was a completely different assignment than I'd had throughout my entire career.
And that's something that you sought, correct?
Correct.
Isn't that what you said?
Yes, sir.
And it's something that you're really excited about, correct?
I don't know if I'd say really excited, just
Well, when you were here on the 10th, you said that you were very interested and excited about your new challenge.
sure.
Okay. And when did you retire?
July 25th, 2025.
When did you put in your retirement paperwork?
July 11th, 2025.
So the Friday after the Thursday that we were in court here?
Correct.
Okay. So what happened, if anything, about the excitement with the Administrative Support Bureau?
Judge, I would object and ask to approach.
For personal and professional reasons.
day or put in your retirement paperwork one day after the hearing that we had here on July 10th?
For personal and professional reasons.
Okay. And you're no longer a police officer?
I am not.
Sir, I'm going to change tack here for a little while. Your Honor, I think we have ID'd 91, so 92 would be the next.
All right, yes, sir.
Sir, if you can look on the screen in front of you, are you able to see this communication?
Yes.
Okay, and who is that communication between?
Director Fayez.
Okay, and Director Fayez, who is that?
She's the Director of Victim Services.
Okay, and was she someone that was within your command structure?
Yes, sir.
Okay, exactly where does that fall in the Major Crimes Bureau command structure?
She's part of the command team.
Okay, so would she be involved with command staff meetings?
Yes, sir.
Is she supposed to be there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so here we have, it looks like a,
Counsel, if you could go back to the microphone, the jury won't be able to hear
sorry,
you.
sorry. Can you hear me?
First admission.
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Admission today.
Looking at the exhibit that's going to be identified as Exhibit 92, do you recognize that?
No, this is actually the first witness today where he's kind of trying to get to some point. Hey, Glorlin McLaughlin.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and there's reference to a jail call. Is that you or is that someone else?
They're responding where it says my name.
Okay, and so who else was on this thread?
I believe it would have to be, based on the response of One Last Favor GI, would be Lieutenant Giasio.
Okay, and so it was the three of you, and you agree that's a communication that you had with all three?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Your Honor, I move that as Commonwealth's Defense Exhibit 92.
Any objection?
Judge, it contains hearsay statements. Two of those individuals have not been called to testify.
I'll identify
ID
it,
it?
Judge,
Okay.
and we'll get to it later, and
All
that's
right, ID'd is 92.
92. Sir, do you see that on the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and it looks to be three people.
That's correct.
Okay, and who are those three people?
Based on the text message, it would be Chief Kevin Davis, myself, Director Fayez, and Lieutenant Giasio.
And the date of Friday, October 25th, 7:32.
Correct.
Does that have significance for you?
I believe that's the date that Juliana proffered.
Your Honor, can I identify this as Defense Exhibit number 93?
93 identified as 93.
And I'd move that into evidence?
Objection contains hearsay.
All right, sustained as hearsay.
Well, now we have to see if we can find a trial
I'll
then.
just identify it,
Okay.
Your Honor. and-
Identified
I
as
think
93.
Krusty has a trial date on Monday.
Sir, do you see what will be identified as Defense Exhibit number 94?
I do.
Okay, and is that a message group that you were involved with?
Could you just give me a second to read this, please?
Absolutely.
Yes, sir, it is.
And this message
message that you sent is on October 25th, 2024, correct?
Correct.
And the same significance as the previous message?
Are you saying this day of the proffer?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Spencer won't be televised.
Your Honor, have I identified this one yet?
You identified it as 94.
94. I'd
Cost
move that
flow
into evidence,
is-
Your Honor.
Same objection.
Objection.
9 days
I'm sorry,
overdue, I
same
think.
objection at this point. But
Okay,
It is
I'll-
ID'd as 94.
ID is 94, thank you.
I'm not going to rerun a case that's just ended. Everyone knows the outcome. And again, I'm not shooting for 22 cases this year either, so I'll probably do the crusty panties, and Aiden has one on Friday, and then we'll see if anything pops up. Also, I'm just going to do a 2-hour stream about why Sue is the worst.
I can.
Every day.
And I'd identify this as defense.
Yeah, but I have a rule that I don't take other people's content like that, and I think the modders should have all the eyes for it. So I won't go and take their content and then stream it on my channel and say, this was what happened. I'll let the modders get all the views and all the clicks for that one.
Exhibit 95. There are a number of people.
I might do some, this is what happened according to the news, but I think that Defense Diary should get all of the praise for all of the work.
Involved in this message, correct?
It appears that way, yes, sir.
And the names there, does that match up with your memory?
You heard me?
Could I review this as well?
Of course, of course.
I've reviewed it. I don't recall this correspondence, but my name is certainly on it.
Do you have any idea who is writing in the blue boxes,
I can't tell.
even by the discussion?
Well, my issue with being able to
I have covered it, whatever has been out there earlier, but I will definitely, if we are streaming next week, I will recommend that everyone should go to Defense Diaries podcast and follow their coverage of Spencer, because that's where you're going to get the main line straight in, and that case needs to be watched.
tell is that the banner, it's very small.
Yes, I
initials.
mentioned that 2 hours ago, I
Okay.
think.
Your Honor, I think I've identified this as 95.
That's correct.
Okay. I'll ID this and
Okay.
come back to it.
Yes, sir.
Oh, come on.
Sir, I'm going to have you look at this. It'll be identified as Defense Exhibit 96. Take some time to read it.
We have 2 sniffers today. Come on now. We just go to lunch and then come back tomorrow. I'd rather be harassed by Sue a whole day than...
I can see my first name up at the top. I don't recall this correspondence.
Okay, and is that with Lieutenant Giasio?
I couldn't say. I see my first name up at the top.
Okay. Your Honor, I'd move to admit that as Exhibit 96.
Judge, 2 objections, hearsay, and it has not been recognized by the witness as having been his statement.
Sustain.
No, not distancing myself from us, but I just have to think about not running out of steam like I did last year. 22 cases is a lot of days sitting here, and I felt it last year and the end of the year.
The objection is just ID'd as 96 at this point.
Sir, please look at this message. This is going to be identified as Defense Exhibit 97.
Again, I see my name at the top. I just couldn't verify if that's me as Patrick and/or who this correspondence is with.
Okay. Let's talk about that. PB, Patrick, that doesn't show up on your text messages?
Well, it appears that this is with somebody else, so it's what appears on their text messages.
Okay, so do you have any idea, based on the content of it, who that person would be?
I hope so.
Are you asking me to take a guess?
Do you, no, I want you to conclude who that person is. Can you do that?
I can't definitively say who that's with.
Okay. Your Honor, I would move that in as Commonwealth's Exhibit, or Defense Exhibit 97.
Same objection.
All right, I'll sustain the objection, but ID is 97.
97, Your Honor, is that right?
That was 97.
Okay, okay, thank you.
I am a stupid Dane.
Sir, I'm going to ask you to identify
I should.
what will be marked as Defense Exhibit number 98. Please read it.
Turn off your phone.
Again, that's my name at the top, or my first name at the top with the initials PB. I don't recall this correspondence.
Your Honor, I'd move into Evidence Exhibit 97.
98.
98, same
sorry.
objection, Judge.
All right, I'll sustain the objection. ID is 98.
He's the guy who ran all of the bureaus that was under, who might have removed someone in a nefarious way, and he says, no, I didn't. I actually retained him in a different department.
Sir, can you look at the screen in front of you and tell me if you recognize this message? Your Honor, I'd identify this as Defense Exhibit 99.
All right.
Again, I see that my first name at the top, the initials. I just don't recall this correspondence.
Your Honor, I'd move in Defense Exhibit 98.
99.
99, objection, Your Honor.
99, sorry.
Sustained, and just ID is 99.
No,
Sir, can you see the picture in front
thank
of you?
you. Coffee.
Yes.
And do you have any recollection, based upon your review of the content of these messages, as to whether or not that's yours?
If you just use the
This I do
microphone.
recall, yes, sir.
Okay. And were you the one who wrote about Klingon and Kelsey and not holding off on bringing Klingon and Kelsey? into the room?
Objection is to counsel's reading the document into evidence, but it's not being admitted.
All right.
Just trying to identify which message.
All right. Well, you can have, just point to it. And I'll
Which,
sustain the objection.
I'm pointing to that one right there. Is that you, or is that the person you're talking to?
Based on how this is presented, that would be me.
Okay. And in that message, you're talking about Eric Klingon, the prosecutor, correct?
Yes,
And Kelsey Gill, the prosecutor.
yes.
Okay. And whomever you're speaking to, you're saying, hold off on bringing-"
Objection. It has not been admitted into evidence. Counsel cannot read what is written.
I'll sustain that objection.
Okay, Your Honor, I'd move this into evidence as Exhibit 100.
And again, Judge, Commonwealth would object. It contains hearsay.
All right, I'll sustain the objection, but ID'd as 100.
Okay. Sir, this is going to be identified as Defense Exhibit 101. Do you recognize that message?
I don't recall this specific message.
Okay. Is that, do you know if that is your communication, even if you don't remember the content?
I don't recall.
Your Honor, I'll hold this as identification
101.
before moving in.
Okay.
101. Sir, do you recall this conversation?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And do you know who you were communicating with?
Lieutenant Giasio.
And which color of the bubbles are you communicating on?
Gray.
And this is Friday, October 25th. Well, tell me the date. What does it say?
It says Friday, October 25th.
Okay, and what's the significance of that?
That's the date of Juliana's proffer.
Okay. Your Honor, I'll hold off and
All right.
move that.
That's
This is 102.
ID'd as 102.
Sue, sir, do you recall this message that's before you?
Yes, sir.
And was that a message that you participated in?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and are you in the gray?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Your Honor, this would be identified as Defense Exhibit 103.
All right. 103, identified.
Now, sir, in your communication, you reference someone else in the fourth gray communication down. Who is that person?
That's Director Fayez.
And Director Sally Fayez?
Correct.
Okay. Your Honor, it's identified
It's
as
identified as 103.
103.
Yep. You got it.
Sir, can you see the message before you?
I do.
Is that a message that you were participating in?
Yes, sir. I'm again in the gray.
Okay, and the second box, those are your words?
Yes, sir.
And these are your words?
Yes, sir.
And do you know who you were speaking with?
Lieutenant Giasio.
Okay. Your Honor, I identify that as
104.
104, and
Yes.
we'll move in for.
All right, identified as 104.
Sir, this is Defense Exhibit 105. Do you recognize that?
Yes, sir.
And are those your words?
Yes, sir.
And who are you speaking with?
Lieutenant Giasio.
Your Honor, I'd identify and move to be admitted at a later time.
Okay, it was just right now it's identified as 105.
Are we gonna get anywhere at any time, at any point?
Sir, I'm going to identify this as Defense Exhibit 106. Do you recognize that communication?
I do not.
Are you not a participant in this?
I don't know if I am. I can't tell.
Okay. Your Honor, identified as 106.
Identified as 106.
Sir, I'm going to ask you to identify
Oh,
number, what will be marked as Defense Exhibit 107. Are you involved in that message?
I have a better chance of having sex with your wife than this case going anywhere. And I'm in Denmark.
I don't believe I am because I'm referenced in the third person. So if you see the
Not
second
that me
grade
and your
box
wife have
down,
talked about it.
wasn't for your leadership and Bruce believing in you. I don't refer to myself in the third person.
Okay, but you don't remember it if, in fact, you
Baker
were
talks about
included in
himself
that?
I
in the
don't
third person
recall.
because Baker is so cool.
I'd move that, I would identify it as
Identified as 107.
107.
Because they're not being
So
put
those
into evidence.
messages appear to be quite frequent, and
Most of it is probably hearsay, and that's why it's not being shown, because he didn't delete all the things that he can't put in there.
with the same group of people. Is that correct?
I guess.
I mean, would that be your, a group that you rely on for discussion about the case?
Certainly people I was in text communications with.
Okay. And the text communications that we know from what we just saw were what you told us, Lieutenant Giasio and Sally Fayez, Director of Victim Services, correct?
Well, there was definitely other ones where you had group people on there as well.
Right, but we didn't identify
Twitter is
them.
down again. Yeah.
I think there was one line that said Dan Spital in there as well.
Okay, was he part of
You
your
can't even
command
do
staff?
that.
Yes, he was.
Now we have to talk to each
And were
other.
there anybody else that you saw in there?
This is how
I believe Tom Harrington was on one of those threads.
Was he part of your command staff?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And anybody else that you saw there?
I don't recall. I have to go through those again.
Well,
Okay.
I'm glad that I could help with that at least.
You're on a court's indulgence.
All right, yes, sir.
Could we just take our lunch break now and then come back Tuesday next week, and this guy can find the point? Oh my.
Sir, in terms of your command structure, who is below you
As in, how would it
within
appear?
homicide? Yes.
My command structure would have been myself to Major Spital. Then underneath him would have been Captain Harrington, Captain Bobel. Let me clarify, I assume you're talking in this 2024 timeframe?
Yes.
Yes. And then the direct report to Major Spital, I think by the way the diagram was, or as I best can recall, would have been Director Fayez.
And so Director Fayez had a direct report, Major Spital had a direct report,
Yes, I was his direct report.
and is that something that's put into the structure that was set up?
Could you clarify what you're asking?
Well, are you the one who's asking for the direct reports, or is it just based upon their position that they're?
It's based upon their position.
Okay. Was Lieutenant Giacio ever a direct report?
He would have then been underneath, at the way it was structured, Captain Bobel.
Okay. Was there ever any concern by the people in your command staff regarding Lieutenant Giacio directly reporting to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Was that an issue that you had to deal with?
It wasn't an issue for me.
Okay. Well, in a command structure such as yours, who would Lieutenant Giacio have to go to if he wasn't a direct report?
I think I'd like to be careful about the word have to. It's a command structure, so there is a hierarchy, and I would be at the top of that hierarchy.
Okay, and would you be the person who would give him permission to bypass the others to get to you?
I could.
Okay, in this case, specifically this case, did you tell him to come directly to you and bypass the others?
I did not tell him to bypass the others, but it was known that he would be reporting directly to me.
Okay, so you gave him that assignment, and then he just took it from there without talking to the others?
I actually spoke to the others. They were part of my command team.
Okay, so you then disseminated whatever he said to you directly?
Yes.
Okay. Now, when you came into your position as deputy chief, were you told to clean up the homicide division?
No, sir.
Did you in turn tell anybody to clean up the homicide division?
No, sir.
Were you aware of anybody saying that they were here to clean up the homicide division?
He's not a detective at all. He is the managing head of all the departments. He is not directly involved in the trial.
Objection as to relevance.
Overruled, if you can answer. That's fine.
No, sir.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Judge, I don't have any further questions.
All right, first examination.
Good afternoon. So are we to understand that your involvement in the Banfield investigation was as a supervisor only?
As a commander, yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you did not collect any evidence in this case?
That's correct. I did not collect any evidence in this case.
Did you direct that any evidence be ignored?
No, ma'am.
You spoke about Brendan Miller and your concerns about his work. You specifically made the statement that he had unsubstantiated deductions. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Was one of those unsubstantiated deductions recorded in his executive summary that Christine Banfield was the operator of her devices when interacting with the FetLife account?
That's correct.
Okay. And was it that type of unsubstantiated deduction that caused you concern?
Exactly.
Okay. Did you do anything to change his report?
Never.
And did you do anything to change the evidence that he had collected that he believed substantiated his report?
Never.
Okay. Judge, I don't have any further questions,
All right,
witness.
redirect. I'm sorry, could you,
I had one other exhibit that I neglected to
all
introduce
right,
in
do you have
my
any objection
direct.
to him? Just, he has one more
No,
text
asking
message.
questions, certainly not.
That's fine.
Hey,
Okay, go
gentlemen.
ahead. It would be 108, Mr. Carroll.
108, yes. Let me just, I'll do my cross and
Okay.
then, or my rebuttal.
Redirect.
Mr. Bruce, the word unsubstantiated can be a difference of opinion in digital forensics, right? Correct?
I guess it would depend on how it applies.
And your statement that it's unsubstantiated was in conflict with your digital forensics expert statement that she was in control of her devices on the FetLife communications, correct?
I don't know that I agree with part of that statement.
Okay, which part?
So there was a conclusion that Christine Banfield was always in the possession of her devices. The crime scene definitively
Relating
demonstrates
to
that to be
FetLife, which is what she
incorrect.
asked. The question was relating to FetLife. Do you?
So could you repeat the question?
So you want me to go all the way back to the difference between unsubstantiated and what?
No, the part where you're bridging of unsubstantiated with the FetLife.
Yeah, that was the question that you were asked by Ms. Sands. And so what I'm asking is, you've indicated that it was unsubstantiated. I'm assuming as to the question as to the FetLife communications, correct?
That's what Ms. Sands asked me, correct?
Yes. And so I think your answer was you were talking about generally the.
He didn't write any reports. What he was asked about is emails that pertain to some form of communication. He's not an investigator. He didn't have anything to do with the case. I think people has, because it's so boring, no one listened. What he was asked about, are you participating in this conversation? And he said, I don't know. I don't know how many email chains you remember you participated in 3 years ago. So it has nothing to do with reports.
The statement in his executive summary that she had not.
Not true. He did identify and say, I can see my name on top, but I don't remember it. Again, grab any random day in 3 years ago and tell me if you know exactly what that conversation with John McKintock was. You don't know. And if he's not allowed to read it to refresh his memory, how should he know? And if some of them was about him, not with him, it's really hard for him to remember it.
Relinquished any of her devices. Is that what you were talking about?
Well, those are two different things. I answered Ms. Sands' question, which would be that, yes, his deduction that Christine Banfield was communicating with Joe Ryan was not only actually unsubstantiated, it was wrong.
Well, so what did you look at to reach the conclusion that it was unsubstantiated? What digital forensics did you look at?
So going back to my education and being a master's in computer forensics, you never attribute a device and or a username to a person.
Okay, and is that what you're relying on to make that point?
With regards to Ms. Sands' question, yes.
So that's not supported by any review of the items that were extracted from the 60 different devices that he did?
Well, by happenstance, it is unsubstantiated. Unless Detective Miller was sitting next to Anastasia or Taco Supreme, he could never attribute whomever was talking on those devices.
And so what your position is that you're not going to believe that you can conclude someone's control of the devices unless you have a video or you have someone who was watching it?
It just would be forensically incorrect to make that conclusion.
But digital forensics makes that conclusion.
Objection, counsel's arguing.
I'll sustain that objection.
Sir, I'm going to show you what will be marked as Defense Exhibit 108. You recognize that?
Yes, I do.
And do you recall the date?
I believe that's going to be October 25th, is that correct?
Yes. It doesn't say, but if you recall it that way, that's what.
That's consistent with my communication with Lieutenant Giasio on the date of the proffer.
Okay. And is it your understanding that he was in a separate room outside of the proffer? And you were communicating with him?
I wasn't on site. I don't feel comfortable answering that question.
You don't know personally?
I don't.
Okay. But it was while it was going on, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And is this the communication with Lieutenant Giasio?
This was my communication, as I recall it, with Lieutenant Giasio.
Okay. Your Honor, Defense Exhibit 108, will ID it?
It's identified as 108.
Were you also involved in the transfer of Kyle Bryant, the lead detective?
Yes, sir.
And was that due to his performance?
Performance due to inexperience, as well as the phrase I would use, I believe he was in over his head as a homicide detective.
Okay, and so Miller, so from the group that was in place in October, Detective Brendan Miller was transferred?
He was transferred, I believe, in November.
Okay. But and then Detective Bryant, who was the lead homicide detective in this case, was transferred?
He was transferred in January of 2025.
And that was as a result of your deciding he had to go?
I just didn't believe he was experienced for the homicide squad.
So you transferred him?
He was transferred to the sex crimes unit.
Okay. And in that same time frame, you were transferred, correct?
I was transferred in February of 2025.
And Lieutenant Giasio was transferred
Correct.
during the same time frame?
Right around that same time frame.
Okay. I don't have any further questions, Your Honor.
All right. Based on Exhibit 108, did you have any questions? Since that was a new,
No, but it was not offered into evidence yet.
no, it's just
so,
ID'd.
Yes.
Okay. Is this witness subject to recall?
Not by the Commonwealth.
No, are you free to go then?
Thank you.
All right, your next witness? Giasio.
And spell your name, and where are you currently stationed?
The Sully District Station,
Okay. And where were you prior to the Sully District Station?
the homicide unit.
Okay. And you were lieutenant there?
Yes,
Was that under, at one point, Deputy Chief Bruce?
yes.
Okay. Or actually, during the entire time you were there was under?
During the entirety of the time I was there.
Because he transferred as well, correct?
I'm sorry.
Because he had transferred around the same time you did.
Yeah, I think about a month before I arrived, he was there.
Okay. I am going to ask you to identify what has been marked and introduced as Defense Exhibit 88.
It's just been marked, not introduced, but.
Sorry. I thought 88 was.
Oh, 88 is, you're right, 88 is in evidence.
Do you recognize that?
It's an email.
Okay. And what's your role in this email?
Without context, it's hard to say. I think it has to do with an executive summary that I was having Detective Miller review.
Okay, so is that the executive summary right there? Was that the attachment?
I believe so.
Okay. Well, during that time frame, perhaps you can recall, during the time frame of November 8th, were you communicating with Sergeant Brian Ames then?
Yes, I was.
Okay, and you were communicating about the digital forensic executive summary?
That's correct.
Okay. Your Honor, I think that's in evidence.
That's in evidence.
Can we publish that? Is it already?
It's already been published.
Okay,
If it's in
thank you.
evidence, we publish it.
I'm sorry, is everything down in America or something? Because I got a notification that I should go and check my ESTA status, and I just can't get into the ESTA system. ESTA is the visa system that I have to apply for to get into America, and it's just spinning, and apparently TwitSwat is down as well. Is everything really bad?
Sir, I'm going to have you look at what has been marked as and moved into evidence as number 89. Does that give you more context in identifying it?
Yes, I believe this was after the co-defendant in this case came in for a proffer. And those attachments or links, I guess would be the better term, at the bottom are links to the attachment or to the body-worn camera that was used to record that proffer. There were two parts.
Okay, and
Well, it's a government website, so.
in this instance, you went to Brian Ames with the two proffers, correct?
That's correct.
And was there a phone call that went along this? Where did he get his direction from?
I don't recall. I think we talked, I don't remember if it was a phone call or an in-person conversation, but after the proffer, we had a conversation about some of the forensics reports and the need to revisit them.
Okay, and the need to change them, correct?
No, sir.
Okay. Was there no,
No, it's I already paid the $40 application fee, but it said it had an update to my status, so I just wanted to go in and see if they had denied it to me.
was there an attempt to update? Sorry,
It used
I'll
to be
leave that there
12
so
and a
you can
half
see it.
bucks. Now it's 40
Was
bucks.
there an attempt to update
Since then.
the digital forensics based on the proffers that you sent?
So we had a meeting, I think it was after these emails, there was a meeting set up with Sergeant Ames and the two Brendan Millers. They names are slightly different, but they work in the same unit to go over the basically all the digital forensics and to understand why they came to certain conclusions previously and understand how the evidence was correctly how it would have been correctly analyzed.
Okay, and that was entirely based upon the proffer of Juliana Peres Magalhães?
I think it was partially based on it. I think there was some question about the analysis from the leadership, both me and above me, prior to that.
Are you talking about Deputy Chief Bruce?
Yeah, he would be one of the people, yes.
Okay, and so, well, I guess, so what you're saying is that you analyzed the digital forensics and you arrived at a different conclusion than your expert?
So I reviewed the data, and I think the data is what the data is. I think the context and how you analyze what it may mean is different.
Okay, and so you were looking at the more the conclusions?
Welcome back, Sue.
I would say the logic used to arrive at certain conclusions.
Okay. And this is with Brendan Miller's report,
Correct.
the executive summary?
It's a
That's one.
application fee that'll
And
waive.
did you ever talk to Brendan Miller and have him show his work?
Yes,
How many times did you do that?
several.
Okay, and when you were doing that, were you trying to get him to change?
Not the data, the analysis.
Okay,
And I wouldn't say change, I would say to understand what I was seeing.
okay.
Are you aware of this email?
What number is this?
This is actually, 90.
90, so
And
it
it's
is
been
evidence.
introduced, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm not aware of this email, no.
Okay. I think it might have been the day before.
Well, yeah, some of it, obviously, the one I sent, I'm aware of, the one at the top, I assumed is what you were speaking about. I'm not aware of that one.
Okay. And is it accurate in terms of how he characterizes it?
Judge, the witness just indicated he's not aware of the document.
He's aware of the bottom part, I think is what he said. So if you want to direct your questions to that.
Well, I think I can ask him questions, Judge, about whether the
I just stepped out of a meeting with Lieutenant Yaccio. He has asked that both Millers review the timeline he provided and the videos of the proffer that he provided. He would like both Millers to revisit their work product in regards to this case in light to the proffer statements and provide timeline. He said that he will provide me the list of interpretations that either B3 or B1 or B3, either B3 or B1 and B3 made. That will need to be ratified, rectified, explained, or revisited prior to the next court date. He doesn't believe Pathfinder is proper at this time, but will discuss if with his team and let me know. Please let me know if you have any questions.
body of it is accurate, whether it's being communicated properly.
What, if he recognizes it? He said he didn't recognize it, so I'll sustain that objection.
Do you recognize the content of what's being sent?
I'm not sure what you're asking.
The body of.
I mean, I can read it,
Sergeant
if that's what
Ames?
you're, I can read it and understand it.
Does that
yes.
sound like what you said to him?
Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate.
Okay. Sir, I'm going to ask you to identify what has been, or look at what has been identified as Defense Exhibit 90.
No,
Nope.
Oh, sorry,
this-
91.
This is 91, which is
Yes,
not in
91,
evidence.
Sorry. So I'd be most interested in you looking at this area down here. Is that something that you created?
I wrote that email, yes.
Okay. And Your Honor, I move this in as Defense Exhibit 91.
Any objection?
I can have the court's indulgence for 1
Yes,
second.
ma'am.
No objection.
All right, 91 in evidence. Publish it, or it goes away.
Now, I'm going to go through a series of communications where it's multiple people. And so what I'm going to ask you is whether or not you recognize the communication and whether you're involved in the communication.
Okay.
Okay? So this would be exhibit number 92. Do you see that?
Yes.
And does that look like the communication that you were involved with?
Yes, I believe the blue bubbles are mine.
Okay. We still don't have the third person, so I'm just going to identify that, Judge. and-
That's still 92.
92. Sir, do you recognize that text message chain?
I do.
And are you involved in that?
Thank you, Skype, for 2.
That's my, in blue as well.
I'm sorry, in the blue?
The blue is my text, yes.
Thank you.
Hey, raccoon hands.
Do you recognize that message? That would be Exhibit 93.
It's exhibit 94.
This is 94.
94. I apologize, Judge. 94.
Yes,
Okay, and that's a communication that you remember?
I do.
And it looks as though it's Patrick Bruch is one, and who's the other one?
Sally Fayez?
Okay, and Sally Fayez is, what's her position within?
She's the director of the Victim Services Department or unit.
Are you a direct report for her?
I'm not sure what you're,
Am I speaking in, do you directly report to her?
no, I never have.
Okay. Who did you directly report to while you were in homicide?
Well, I had, I guess, Captain John Bobel, Major Dan Spital, and Deputy Chief Patrick Bruch.
Okay. Did you have any privilege to report directly to Patrick Bruch when he was deputy chief?
For the purposes of this case, he was my primary report.
Okay, so it would just be the two of you communicating, much like these messages?
I mean, the other commanders were a part of it,
Implication.
but he was the primary person that I reported to.
Sir, I'm going to ask you to identify if you are involved in this, if you are involved in this, which is a Defense Exhibit 96, 95.
95.
Yes, I believe that's my text in blue as well.
Okay. And do you remember this day?
I believe that was the day after the arrest of the defendant.
It's bakermediadk@gmail.com
Okay. Thank you.
to make sure that Marissa gets to vet all the pictures.
Sir, do you recognize this has been identified as Defense Exhibit 96?
97? We're on 96.
96.
96,
Yes.
Do you recognize that?
I do.
And that's just a direct message between you and Patrick Bruch?
That's correct.
Okay. And do you remember the context of it based on looking at it?
That was on the eve of the preliminary hearing for the co-defendant.
Your Honor, I'd move this in as Defense Exhibit 96.
Any objection?
No objection.
96 in evidence and can be published.
So you're in blue again, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and Big Day, you're speaking of what you just said, which is the preliminary hearing?
Correct.
Okay, and you reference Klingon? You
Yes.
talking about Eric Klingon, the prosecutor?
Yes, sir.
Okay, he was the prosecutor on this case back then, correct?
Yes, he was.
And just describe for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what's the communication about?
Your Honor, if counsel is asking the witness to read it, I would object. It has not yet been moved into evidence.
He asked him what it's about, so I'll overrule the objection.
You can go ahead and answer.
It's about being nervous for the preliminary hearing.
Okay, and that's between you and Deputy Chief Bruch?
Correct.
Okay, were you directly involved in the preliminary hearing that day?
No.
Okay, and was that the day of the hearing?
I believe it's the evening before, the evening before.
Okay, the preliminary hearing was on April 1st?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and were you involved in the preparation? Is that why you're privy to that?
Well, I was the supervisor. I'm sorry. Oh, closer. Sorry, it sounds loud to me. I'm sorry, can you repeat the questions?
Were you directly involved with the preparation for the preliminary hearing?
Yeah, I mean, I was the supervisor of the homicide unit.
Okay, but you didn't have any investigatory role in this?
No, in this case, I wasn't involved in any interviews. I didn't collect any evidence. I simply oversaw the investigation starting in, I think, early March 2024, so about 13 months after the murder.
Okay. Is it customary for lieutenants not to be involved in any of those things?
At the time, I was a sergeant, but yeah, I think that's fairly normal. The detectives do the investigating, the supervisor oversees it.
Would there be any other reasons why you couldn't prepare for the hearing?
No.
Were you on the Brady list at that time?
Objection is to relevance.
Overruled.
I'm not aware that anybody keeps a Brady list, but the Commonwealth has told me that they make certain disclosures about an investigation where I allowed an employee who had a brain tumor to stay home on light duty at the direction of a commander.
Okay. And so that was one instance when you were put on the Brady list. Have you been put on the Brady list on other occasions?
No.
Objection is to relevance.
Overruled, he answered no.
And the Brady list essentially, well, you tell me, what is the Brady list?
Well, like I said, I don't think there's a Brady list, but the Commonwealth makes disclosures based on opinions that they form about a case.
And the underlying finding is truthfulness, correct?
No.
Now, there's a comment in here about catfishing. Was that a concern on March 30th, 2024, amongst you and Deputy Chief Bruce?
Was catfishing a
There's a
concern?
comment here. I'm just trying to get the context of that.
So based on the evidence, I think that after I reviewed it, just about a month in, I believe that it was overwhelming that this was a catfish. I think the term has been used kind of across the board now, that was set up by the defendant, yes.
Okay, and after doing 1 month's worth of work as a lieutenant, you were able to arrive at that conclusion?
I was a sergeant at the time, but yes.
Okay, and describe for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what were your digital forensics qualifications in order to arrive at that conclusion?
Well, I reviewed sort of the evidence that was provided to me by the digital forensics people. You know, for instance, the accounts were created in January. They had never, you know, they were brand new accounts. That was unusual to me. We reviewed Christine's history. I think it went back to the mid-2000s. She had never so much as visited a porn site that we could find, so I thought that was...
I guess my question was about the digital forensics.
Well, I think reviewing her digital footprint, there was no evidence of that. There were 2 occasions where the co-defendants were out of town for 48 to 36 hours, and none of the accounts, the CB 920 at Gmail wasn't used, the FedLife account wasn't used, the Telegram account wasn't used. It seemed unusual to me that that wouldn't happen while they were out of the house.
So if I can, let me just redirect you back to digital forensics.
Well, this is all part of the digital evidence, right? So,
Not your opinion as to whether or not it's unusual if they're in or out of town.
Just want
That's
to
not-
you ask your next question.
Yes. So in terms of catfishing, that was a theory that you were pushing, correct?
that I was,
Pushing.
it's what I believe the evidence overwhelmingly supported, yes.
And you then attempted to educate the homicide detectives about that,
Objection,
correct?
All right, I'll stay this lead.
What, if anything, did you do with the homicide detectives
I
in
said,
order
what
to
if anything?
convince them of your theory?
We reviewed the evidence many times between March and September. However, it wasn't until the co-defendant came into proffer that everybody was in agreement that the catfish was the actual correct.
Okay, so once again, it was the co-defendant, not the digital forensics, that caused that conclusion, correct?
That's not my opinion, no.
Okay. Okay, I don't have any further questions on that.
No, because you just got slapped again.
Sir, I'm going to have you look at what will be marked as 98, Defense Exhibit 97.
No.
It's 97.
97?
It's 97, correct.
You see that, sir?
Yes,
Okay, and in that, this is between you and Deputy Chief Bruce, is that right?
it is.
Okay, and there's some concern about losing the probable cause hearing, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so question for, Your Honor, I'd move that into evidence.
All right, any objection, 97?
Yes, Judge, our previous witness did not identify that as his information, so it stands as hearsay.
Kind of a follow-on of 96, it just keeps going down, so I'll
I can-
rule the objection on
Thank you.
97 in evidence.
Is this communication with Patrick Bruce?
It is.
Okay. And in here, there's discussion about the prosecutor's plan, correct?
Yes.
And are you in the blue or the gray?
Blue.
Okay. And there's something about a fail-safe that's been put in place. What's that?
We had evidence that the co-defendant may have misrepresented things on her visa application, and I think Customs and Border Protection had planned to investigate that and potentially arrest her for it.
Okay, so if the preliminary hearing didn't go well, you wanted to get a hold of her immediately afterwards.
Correct.
So if the preliminary hearing hadn't gone well, just for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the case would have been dismissed,
Correct.
and then she would have been released.
Judge, counsel's testifying.
I'll stay as a leading.
Sir, what would have happened if the preliminary hearing had been dismissed?
The co-defendant would be released.
And so the fail-safe was to have Customs and Border Patrol there to grab her?
Correct.
Okay. So come to the jail before she's released.
I think they were planning on getting arrest warrants. I'm not fully read into what their plan was.
And was this a plan between you and then Deputy Chief Bruce, or was this a plan amongst everyone involved?
It was the detectives on the task force that was created that set it up.
Okay. And so who else would have known about the fail-safe?
Detective Bryant, Detective Goodell, and Detective Smith, I think, was still pretty well involved at that point.
Was Detective Bryant the chief detective at that time?
He was the lead detective, yes.
Okay. And Detective Goodell was another co-lead detective?
Correct.
And was Detective Smith a lead detective, or she?
Yeah, so essentially when I arrived, Detective Bryant had been the lead for the first year or so. I think at some point prior to my arrival, Detective Smith had been assigned to help him. And then once I got there, I assigned Detective Goodell. So there was 3 detectives plus myself that were reviewing all the evidence.
Okay. Okay, did you say in a prior statement that as a lieutenant, you wouldn't review all the evidence?
No, I would absolutely review the evidence. I wouldn't take part directly in the investigation. I didn't interview witness, collect evidence, or have any real direct involvement, just in reviewing and advocating for investigative leads.
And Your Honor, I'm sorry, 97 was moved into evidence?
97 is in
Okay,
evidence.
and that's, the jury has been published. Okay, thank you. Sir, can you see that communication?
Yes,
Is that the communication with Patrick Bruce?
yes,
And this is from November 8th, correct?
yes,
Okay, do you recognize this?
I do.
And you're in blue?
Correct.
Your Honor, move this in as Commonwealth's Exhibit number 98.
Judge, I'll renew the objection that former Deputy Chief Bruce could not identify this item.
On this one, he could not identify.
I think that witness just identified him.
All right.
Correct, but the witness indicates based on the document
I'm going to
itself.
sustain the objection since he testified that he did not recall it. So I'll sustain the objection.
Okay. Sir, in the blue box, you indicate that you did something. What is that?
I used the words markup. Or took a red pen. What I did was highlight in red
Okay.
on a document.
And did you actually take a pen?
No, it was the red. I changed the font to red rather than black.
Okay. And the document that you were referring to there, what document was that?
It was the executive summary prepared by Detective Miller.
Okay. Your Honor, may we approach on 98?
Sure.
This is horrible. Abso-effing-lutely horrible.
Your Honor, if I may, I also had 106.
I had 106, I put that on his.
Okay, and 107. Yes,
Yes.
thank you.
Sir, do you identify what's been marked as Defense Exhibit 100?
Yes, it's a text message.
And that's between you and Patrick Bruce?
It is.
Are you in the blue box or the gray box?
Blue.
Okay, Your Honor, I'd move that into evidence. as
No objection.
common
Gray
exhibit
box,
100.
other blue
And we'll
box.
publish.
So what, if anything, did you do when you were told to hold off on bringing Klingon and Kelsey into the loop?
I don't remember specifically, but I would imagine I held off on giving them a call.
Okay. And who, for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, who's Klingon and who's Kelsey?
They were the prosecutors assigned at the time.
Okay. And do you recall when it was that you put them in the loop after this statement?
I'm sure within 24 hours. I don't recall
But you
exactly.
don't have any recollection?
No, I don't recall, but it was definitely not for any extended period of time.
Okay, and this looks like it was something that might jog your memory. It was relating to Celebrite Task Force? Do you have any recollection when it was that you would have told the prosecutors
I
in this
promise you,
case, whatever the
Hollyback, no
conclusion
fun will
was?
be had.
Judge, I think that's a mischaracterization of the evidence.
If you want to rephrase your question.
Was the information that you're holding off on relating to the task force meeting at Celebrite?
I believe it was the blood inside Juliana's shoes and on Brendan's pants.
Okay, and so how long did it take for you to communicate that to the prosecution team?
Like I said, I don't remember exactly, but it would be something that I would bring them up to speed on within a short period.
Okay, but you don't remember if you did?
I'm sorry?
But you don't remember if you did?
I certainly remember that they're aware of it. I just don't know exactly what that time frame was,
Okay.
but I would guess within 24 hours.
Thank you.
Mr. Carroll, would this be a good time to go ahead and take our
Okay,
lunch break?
yes, thank you.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll go ahead and take our lunch break for an hour. Please do not discuss the case with anybody and don't do any outside research, okay? Thank you.
We're going to do Saka at 1:30. So I'm gonna-
Anything's happening? Come on.
The prosecution or the defense at this time, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. We'll be back. Let's go at 2:05, okay? 2:05. Thank you.
I'm seriously considering not covering the afternoon and just start at normal time tomorrow and go through it. This has been probably the worst day covering trials I have ever had. I don't know what this guy is on about. He wants them to admit that they never really considered anything else, and they say, we did. You were forced to have this opinion? No. Well, did you talk to this guy? Yeah, I did. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm. I really. It's 7 o'clock my time. This ends normally at 11 o'clock. I'm not sure I can come back and do 3 hours more of this bullshit. Well, money. That's sometimes. It's just I can't watch him at this speed. It's so fucking. I've been trying to log into an Esther account and it still hasn't logged into it. And it's more exciting than what we have seen here. I'm thinking Dodo is right. If we speed through it tomorrow, then we will be a little behind the trial, and then we can speed through that as well. And then I can go watch our handball match tonight because we're playing French, and if we don't win it, we're out, I think, of the Euros. Yeah, everyone changed their summary. I didn't. But did you feel pressure to change it? I didn't change it. Oh. Lefty, turn on your little horse and pony show and get in there and entertain people. We can recap. No, I will probably play it, but I don't dance. You know that. Yes, handball, our national sport, a game that we invented. But I'm sorry, but this is torture. I know the judge can't do it because it'll be depriving him of his rights, but at some point she should ask, are you satisfied with this defense? Have you listened to this idiot for 2 days? So I think I'm gonna go watch some handball, do a night stream instead. Maybe I should call it a nan stream because she's losing her mind as well. And then we'll catch up in the morning because this is, I'm sorry, I can't do this. It's horrendously list. No, I'm not gonna open any package. I will do an unboxing stream for the packages because now I have quite a few. So I will do its own stream. So I'm gonna find you somewhere to ship you through, and then if there's a bombshell and someone text me, we might. But I don't think there will be any bombshells other than how the hell can this guy invite more people to say the exact same thing? It's just repetitive and stupid. It's been a long time since I've thrown you over here. You can go say hi to Catnut Williams. She's covering the same trial. So, yeah. Well, I don't need some rest. I just need to. This is when I hate streaming trials. It's when it's just bogged down in absolutely fucking nowhere. I'm angry now. I'm gonna go make myself some dinner. Then I'm gonna take a relaxing night in my good chair with a blanket and watch some handball and figure out what the hell Esther sent me that won't update. And yeah, I'll be back tonight and we'll pick this up tomorrow because this turned into how can you make a case about fetishisms and smecks this boring? Shame. Shame.
I'm Jimmy. How y'all doing?
I know English is your second language, but you don't word
It's
your
my
questions
third,
carefully.
but I'm still better at it than you. You are
The most important people in this case that everybody seems to have forgotten in this room is the jury. So we're going to take a 15-minute break and both sides take a pregnant pause and think about the jury.